warm, muggy day in north central Florida, but the football fans are here en masse from UCF in Orlando and from Gainesville. Gator fans here to watch the fourth-ranked Florida Gators take on the Golden Knights of the University of Central Florida. First ever meeting between these two in-state schools. And hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Swamp. I'm David Steele, and we're glad to have you with us. The Florida football team has not played an in-state team, with the exception of Miami and Florida State, since 1953. That year, Florida played Stetson in football. Well, Stetson no longer fields a football team, but the University of Central Florida Golden Knights do, and they're looking for a big upset today in the Swamp. Let's welcome my broadcast partner, Nat Moore, who did not play for Florida against Stetson in 1953. But, Nat, you've seen a lot of great Gator teams. Today they play a UCF club that's very good.
Well, you know, this program has been in existence 21 years, and they've had 5 head coaches. And in 1998, Mike Kruzik, in his first year, was able to lead UCF to a 9-2 record. So look for big things here today.
Well, they last week stumbled in their opener against Purdue, while the Florida Gators were here in the Swamp and blowing out Western Michigan. When the Gators run the ball well, Nat, we know they do well. When the back runs for 100 yards, the Gators win. In the 1990s, they're 52-1 in that situation. Ernest Graham had 158 yards last week, and he looks like the real thing.
Well, Steve Spurrier was waiting for one of these young backs to step up and take control. And here we see Ernest Graham as he shows you power, strength, and speed as he runs through a would-be tackler for the touchdown. But, David, the thing that really highlights this young man's ability is his patience in the hole, the way he helps set up blocks for his offensive linemen. He does a great job of reading the head of the blockers and then getting upfield for additional yardage.
This game is brought to you in part by First Union, your guide to the financial world. By Great Southern Wood, makers of Osmos pressure-treated pine. If it doesn't say Osmos on the yellow tag, believe me, you don't want it. And by Dairy Farmers Incorporated. Got milk? Florida head coach Steve Spurrier. An incredible record in the Swamp, 94 wins. And you see his record, only 18 defeats and 1 tie as head coach of the Florida Gators. Gators with a 28-game winning streak here at home. And that's the longest home win streak in college football today. Mike Kruzik in his second year as head coach at the University of Central Florida. Last year with Dante Culpepper at the helm. The Golden Knights in Kruzik's first year as head coach went 9-2. Of course, Culpepper is now in the NFL with the Minnesota Vikings, and Coach Kruzik and his staff have a bit of a rebuilding job, but still with all the athletes now more in the state of Florida, they've got mostly Florida kids. They're going to have a good football program at UCF.
Well, there are some guys in the state of Florida that can play this game, and Central Florida gets their pick of them, David.
Florida will return the opening kick. And there is the kick man for Central Florida. Borleghi, Javier Borleghi, the sophomore from Merritt Island, who had problems last week with the field goals, extra points. They had a lot of special team problems. And Borleghi has been injured, but is able to go this afternoon. John Capel brings it out for the Gators from the goal line. And the Golden Knights swarm him. A big hit in the open field by Albert Snyder. Number 32, a sophomore from Palm Bay. Florida takes the football inside its 20-yard line at the 17. Nice job by Borleghi. He really got all of the kickoff, and so he shows no signs of any kind of injury. Doug Johnson, the quarterback for the Gators, last week had his ups and downs, made a lot of big plays, though, and well, it appears that we're going to bring the ball back and redo the opening kick. Well, there must be a penalty that has been thrown against Central Florida, University of Central Florida Golden Knights.
I think the Golden Knights at that point was guilty of being offside, and maybe that's why Albert Snyder was able to get down there in such a hurry and come up with the tackle on Capel.
Well, so Florida did not get good field position on the opening kick. And Borleghi will redo it. UCF last week against Purdue shot themselves in the foot too many times to make a run at a team of that caliber, and they know they've got to cut out their mistakes tonight to have a chance to make a run at the Florida Gators, a much better team even than Purdue. Borleghi with the kick once again. Capel and Rashay Caldwell deep. This is Capel from the 5-yard line. Much better field position already for the Gators. Capel is down at the 32. And so a difference of about 15 yards on the 5-yard penalty against UCF. Today's starting lineup brought to you by Checkers. Checkers fresh because we just made it. There's the Gator offense. Rob Roberts, the fullback. Graham, who had 158 yards last week. Taylor Jackson, great at the wideout positions. An experienced offensive line. Corey Yarborough moves into the starting center spot for the injured Zach Zadelis. But he, a very seasoned veteran, and should be fine. The senior from Glen St. Mary, Florida. Johnson will throw on first down. He's got Graham, and Graham does not have the football. The pass is incomplete. Pretty good coverage by the linebacker, Devine. We'll look at the UCF defense. Richardson at one end, Hartley at the other. Moore, probably the top guy at the tackle position there. A starter for 3 years. Had 6 tackles last week against the Purdue Boilermakers. Fye and Bush, very good on the corners. Fye, the biggest hitter on this UCF defensive team. He's a little guy, but he packs a wallop. Keep an eye out for number 4. Johnson. He's got his man open, Darrell Jackson. And Jackson high steps over a defender and steps out of bounds. He went out of bounds up around the 20. There may be a flag. Might have been a block in the back by Travis Taylor, but we'll see.
I don't think they're going to call it as a block in the back because he made contact on the defender, and as he turned to run to try and get over to make the tackle on Darrell Jackson, Travis Taylor had already started to block. Here you see nice run after the catch by Darrell Jackson, but coming into your screen, you should see the block there of Travis Taylor on number 10, Damian Demps, but there's no flag because he started to block early.
All right, so the Gators with the ball at the 20-yard line after the big play. Johnson to Jackson, 49 yards on the connection. And here's Darrell Jackson again out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And the Gators come out firing, but there is a flag thrown on this play. With that first completion of the night, Doug Johnson made his way up another notch in the Florida record books. He surpassed his head coach, Steve Spurrier, moving up into number 6 position, passing yardage.
Well, I don't think that would upset Steve Spurrier to see Doug Johnson bypass him there as we listen to the ref here.
Referee Bill Goss with the call, and they'll bring this one back against Florida. Steve Spurrier looking for an explanation. And there's Billy Young, the man who signals the plays in from the sideline. A hand signals after the play is given by Steve Spurrier. And Spurrier having a little conversation with Alex Willis there about that last penalty. Gators inside the 20-yard line. Struggled last year, but last week off to a good start in the game against Western Michigan. There's another flag, and the Gators didn't get the playoff in time. This is going to be a delay of game. So 5 more yards marched off against the Gators, and they're back now to the 30-yard line.
And that's not what you want to see if you're the Gator coaching staff. You move the ball down, get great field position, and 2 costly penalties. One taking away a big gain, and then secondly not getting up and getting the ball snapped in time.
No backs with Johnson. And he throws it away. It's picked off by UCF. The interception by Rico Joseph. And the Golden Knights stop the Gator drive. Joseph, a sophomore out of Lake Worth. And that ball was thrown right to him.
Well, Rico Joseph comes up with the interception, but let's give this interception to Marv Richardson as he's right there hitting Doug Johnson, forcing him to throw the ball earlier before he's ready to throw the football. So the timing was off as he tried to get the ball to Travis Taylor.
All right, Johnson. The ill-advised pass, and Joseph one of many Floridians on this UCF football team, and this is a fired-up football club right now. The Knights take over at the 15, the 17-yard line. Handoff is to Williams, Terrence Williams, junior from Clearwater, and he bangs it out across the 15, back near to the line of scrimmage. Vic Penn, the quarterback for UCF, a transfer from the University of South Carolina. Actually, last year he played at Garden City Community College in Kansas. 2 years prior to that at the University of South Carolina. Played against the Gators in Columbia, South Carolina in 1997. Actually had a pretty good game against a Florida football team in '97. He shows a strong arm and connects with Charles Lee on his first pass attempt. Lee, the senior from Homestead, found himself wide open. Here's our Checkers starting lineup. Checkers fresh because we just made it. Sessoms is the fullback. Mack the starting tailback. Told you about Penn a moment ago, and there's the offensive line. Haynes, McCray, Loreni, Beecham, and Wilson, who reported out of shape and still really working his way into playing shape in week 2 for UCF. Williams not able to run the ball as he's grabbed by the left side of Florida's defensive line. Florida's defense, Chambers, really looking to play better this week. Derek Chambers had no tackles last week against Western Michigan. Moody, Gurley, the other tackles. Alex Brown had a couple of sacks last week against the Broncos. And the secondary, Cromartie really finds himself in a battle for playing time with freshman Lito Shepherd. We'll see Shepherd in this ball game today.
But David, in all fairness to Robert Cromartie, he was matched up with one of the premier receivers in NCAA football with Steve Neal.
There's another good receiver, Lee, already with a couple of receptions. This one brings the ball out to the 35, about 3 yards short of a Golden Knight first down. Lester Norwood, sophomore free safety out of Atlanta, Georgia, made the stop.
Well, this is just a nice job by both the quarterback and the receiver. As you'll see, Vic Penn goes back and there's nobody open. Buys time by moving around in the pocket and then finding Charles Lee as he scrambles back, coming back to meet the football to give him a target to throw to.
Last week, Western Michigan was able to throw the ball effectively against Florida. Could not run it. Now it's 3rd and 3.5, and let's see what the Golden Knights go to. Alex Brown had pressure, but the ball is caught by the tight end, Jackson. And he is out of bounds at the 47-yard line. That is a great play by Vic Penn to avoid the sack. He got the pass away. Jackson was wide open.
And that's got to be a blown assignment once again, because there's no way that you bring Alex Brown and then you got Mario Jackson wide open with no defender in the ballpark, as we see Lester Norwood coming in at the end to make the tackle. But someone blew an assignment that time, David.
Well, Jackson made his first career collegiate catch, a freshman out of Palatka. Played for Jim McCool in that great high school program. First down for the Golden Knights. Running up the middle, Omari Howard, sophomore from Syracuse, New York. A couple of yards to near the midfield stripe. Thomas Moody, 93, was the first man there for the Gator defense. Mike Kruzik's team picked off a Doug Johnson pass, and they moved the ball to midfield. We are early in the first quarter from the swamp. Vic Penn, a junior from Miami. Nice blocking up front. And Edward Mack finds a little bit of daylight across the 45 to about the 44-yard line. He is close to a Golden Knight first down.
Well, David, when this play first started, this looked like big yardage, but watch Andre Davis gets cut down and gets up and still makes a bone-crushing tackle to hold him short of the first down. Excellent play by Andre Davis coming up to make the stop.
Davis had 11 tackles last week against Western Michigan to lead the ball club. Out of the eye. Sessoms is the fullback. And the give is to the tailback, Howard. He didn't get much, but he didn't need much, and it looks like the Knights are going to have a first down.
Well, David, Howard gets the first down, but real nice job by the Gator defense. And on this particular play, Davis just overruns it, and he's not able to get back into the hole. They had great penetration, had a chance to trap him in the backfield, but a nice run by Omari Howard to pick up the first down.
UCF building some confidence here early in the first quarter. They've moved the ball against the Gator defense. They thought they could, and they have so far. And here's Mack.
He's headed for the end zone. Touchdown, UCF. Edward Mack takes it the distance, and the Golden Knights strike first.
Well, David, what they're doing, they're going 4 wide receivers and spreading this Gator defense out. And then what we see is just a bad job of tackling as Lester Norwood has a shot at him. And, of course, Mack makes the break. There's a missed tackle, and then just a bad angle by Lester Norwood, allowing Mack to get into the end zone for the touchdown. You know, those are the things that, as young defenders, are problems. You know, they're not used to taking the right angle, taking the right pursuit angle to come up with the tackle, as we saw Lester Norwood on that particular play.
Touchdown for the Knights. They take the lead early.
Smart and save with People's Gas, a Tico Energy company.
You're thinking about getting a certain kind of car or truck. Okay, well, the first thing most of us do is just talk to somebody who's got one like it. Or we read some articles or test results. You even check the internet. It makes sense to me, even if I do sell Toyotas. So, just do your homework, then come see me.
Well, let's take another look at UCF's touchdown that gets them out to the 7-0 lead. Great blocking up front, Nat, and then great run by Howard.
Good running by Mack, Edward Mack, by just reading ahead of the blockers downfield. But a great job by the offensive line of getting a stalemate and driving the Gators off the line of scrimmage.
We've seen 3 tailbacks already for UCF, and they'll keep all 3 of those guys fresh.
Capel, no place to run. Great coverage by the Golden Knights special teams, and the Gators are backed up to the 10-yard line. Ferguson made the tackle. Here comes Doug Johnson for a second go-round against UCF. Now the Golden Knights
defensively, as you look at UCF's scoring
drive of 84 yards, 9 plays, very impressive, and a 42-yard run by
Mack to finish it off. They'll give Florida
a lot of different looks defensively. They're not as big as everybody else Florida will play this year, but they've got good quickness and will make life difficult
with their different looks.
And one of the things you want to do when you get a small team like that is you want to pound the football. You know, last week the Gators opened up running the football. This week they opened up throwing the football, and even though they were able to move it down into the red zone, a couple of penalties and an interception, and they only showed end of the stick. You know, what you want to do is get this young guy here, Ernest Graham, off early and start to control the football game, control the line of scrimmage.
Redshirt freshman who had the big game, a couple of touchdown runs against Western Michigan last week. Graham breaks the tackle, driving forward across the 20, picks up a first down at the 22-yard line. David Bush, the junior from Miami, made the tackle.
Well, Damon Bush came up and just knew that he had a tackle here, but you see the low center of gravity of Ernest Graham as he gets down low with the would-be tackler, puts a forearm on him, keeps his balance, keep on trucking, picks up additional yardage for the first down.
Robert Gillespie is in at tailback for the Gators, along with fullback Rob Roberts on first down. And here is Gillespie. Across the midfield stripe to the 44-yard line of the Golden Knights is Robert Gillespie, the sophomore from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
And David, I tell you what they do here. They bring in Robert Gillespie. They isolate him on the middle linebacker. DeAubrey Devine just catch him on a drag route, and then he turns on the speed, and a nice job of stepping back inside, picking up additional yardage when you would think he would have stepped out of bounds as Sayer came in to try and push him out.
The big play gets the Gators in Golden Knights territory. Here's Bo Carroll. They turn loose the deuce in the first quarter tonight. Bo Carroll gets some early playing time.
Well, that shows you that the Gators time. We saw Robert Gillespie, and then in comes Bo Carroll, the speediest of the three, and you run him on a draw play up the middle, picking up big yardage.
UCF scored on a 42-yard run by Mack.
Flags fly as Carroll breaks loose, shaking tacklers to the 15-yard line. But penalty flag is on the field. UCF was jumping across the line of scrimmage. We'll find out if they were drawn or not. Jeff Fye made the tackle, and it will be offside against UCF, and the penalty will be declined.
Well, as you can see, they're able to pull the left tackle off, but nice run by Bo Carroll. I think this thing of patience in the hole is getting contagious as Bo Carroll tucked in behind the big offensive tackle and waited for the hole to open and exploded through for additional yardage.
Ernest Graham is back in the Florida backfield with Taylor and Jackson split wide to the left. Doug Johnson raises up and takes a timeout. Florida driving the football, but UCF out to the 7-0 lead in the Swamp. We'll be back in just a moment.
The University of Florida campus is a beautiful place, but the challenge for a major university in the 21st century is to move beyond these walls and meet people where they are. That means using technology to assist our students with registration, improve the classroom learning environment, and even deliver courses to their workplace, no matter where that is. It's part of our commitment to performance in the new millennium.
You enter the financial world in search of a secure future. Instead, you find chaos and confusion. The possibilities are overwhelming. Fortunately, there is a beacon in this complex world. For comfort instead of confusion, come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
I just enrolled my company in this healthcare plan, and I need some information on a small procedure.
Just wait a moment, and we can call Debbie at Central.
Who's Debbie?
You'll love Debbie. She's in charge of your health.
Is she a doctor?
No, but she's really nice.
I want my doctor.
At HIP, doctors make decisions, not administrators. Call your broker or call HIP about our affordable small business plans. Call and get a 10-minute prepaid long-distance calling card and our free brochure on small business plans. So where do you get your health care?
It's HIP.
Back in the Swamp, where the University of Central Florida is out to a 7-0 lead on the Florida Gators. But Florida driving the football. A drive which began around their 10-yard line. And they've done it primarily on the ground.
Well, David, last week they had great success down here inside the green zone by running the football. Had 3 rushing touchdowns. Let's see.
Well, there's no flag. Travis Taylor looking at the field judge. He got tangled up with Jeff Fye around the goal line, and the pass is over his head and incomplete.
Well, he's looking at the field judge, rightfully so, because Jeff Fye at the goal line reached out and put his hands on him, banged him around, not allowing him to make his cut with the ball already in the air.
Well, that brings up a 2nd and 10. Florida inside the Golden Knights 20-yard line for the 2nd time tonight. Nice tip away at the last second by Travis Fisher. That looked like 6 from the get-go. Fisher reached in there and deflected the ball away from Travis Taylor.
Well, Doug is just late on this throw because Travis Taylor beats Fisher on the post pattern. Nice move. He's got the separation now. See, he's waiting on the football. If Doug Johnson throws his ball on time, it's an easy touchdown.
Oh, a nice play by Fisher. He's got the speed to keep up with Florida's wide receivers. One of the top sprinters in high school. At God behind Tallahassee. Fisher number 2 for UCF. There's the man open. It is Taylor. It is touchdown Florida.
And this was just A nice throw, nice job by Travis Taylor going up, getting the football as the ball was a tad high. But the Gators have seen something in the middle of the field, and they keep trying to pick on it. I don't know whether it's because of Rico Joseph not getting good depth, but here you see just straight down the middle. Nice adjustment on the football as the ball was a little bit behind him by Travis Taylor.
Jeff Chandler was perfect last week. 7 for 7 in point afters and 2 for 2 in field goal attempts. And Chandler ties the game at 7-7. Halfway through the first quarter, we're all tied up in the swamp.
The University of Florida campus is a beautiful place, but the challenge for a major university in the 21st century is to move beyond these walls and meet people where they are. That means using technology to assist our students with registration, improve the classroom learning environment, and even deliver courses to their workplace, no matter where that is. It's part of our commitment to performance in the new millennium.
Now available for the first time ever on home video, the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts.
What a night. Who are we honoring?
Jokes, jabs, insults, and put-downs. That's what made these roasts hilarious and makes this tape a must-have for your video library.
Johnny Carson is a comedian who is seen every night in millions of bedrooms all over America. And that's why his last wife left him.
This tape features over 50 stars and over 100 minutes of the funniest, most outrageous laughs ever seen on television.
How sweet it is.
She wants to dye her hair back to its original color, but she can't remember it.
It takes many years to be a great comedian. Sure does. You ain't reached that year yet.
You know, some performers never have a night like this. Those are the lucky ones.
Call now to order the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts for only $19.95. It's not sold in any store, so call and order right now.
7-7 tie here in the first quarter as the teams score on back-to-back drives. You know, in their opener against Purdue, Central Florida scored on its first drive. Purdue came right back and scored and went on to score 47 unanswered points. The Gators hope history repeats itself tonight. UCF, very important possession to try to keep the momentum they got on that opening drive.
All right, thank you, Larry. UCF surely aided the Boilermakers offense in that game last week. Oh, big hit on special teams as Phi was drilled inside the 15-yard line.
Teddy Sims.
Boy, did he get all of Phi.
That's a linebacker's dream to catch a running back or a receiver cutting up and with no one in front of him.
Travis Taylor on the receiving end. And a couple of touchdown receptions last week. Doug Johnson threw 4 touchdown passes last week. So now has 5 for this young season. The Golden Knights with quarterback Vic Penn take the football at their 15-yard line. They drove the ball on their first possession and made it look rather easy.
Extremely easy. Matter of fact, it was too easy, David.
Swing pass to Lee. And Lee out of bounds. He'll have a first down at about the 25-yard line. Will be very close. They mark him just inside the 25. Marquand Manuel, number 4, the sophomore from Miami, made the tackle.
Well, this is nothing but a little screen, a little belly screen to the inside receiver, Lee, and he does a nice job of running with the football. I'll tell you the thing that they really do, and looking at films of UCF earlier in the week, they like to go tribs or 4 wide and spread you out and then try and get the ball in these guys' hand and let them run. Last week, you know, they had a pretty explosive offense even though they weren't able to put points on the board.
The Gators have used their second timeout of the first half. So some confusion defensively for the Florida Gators, and the entire unit comes near the sideline. This game is brought to you in part by Checkers, fresh because we just made it. And by Napa Auto Parts, best service, best price. Florida Field, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. The UCF Knights and the Florida Gators meet for the first time. Of course, UCF has only fielded a football team since 1979. They started Division III
were Division III for a couple of years. Moved up to Division II in 1982, then 1AA in 1990, before taking a big jump to 1A in 1996. And boy, they've come a long way in a short period of time with that football team in the University of Central Florida. Not a small campus. This is a school of about 32,000 undergraduate students. I think there's a perception out there that this is a small school, but it's one of the major universities in the Florida State system.
And I think that perception is basically because of what happened when they first started out being a Division III school. Since then, they've elevated themselves to a Division 1A, and the 32,000 students just justify that fact.
Penn trying to dive on the quarterback keeper for the first down. They'll be very close. John Hoke, defensive coordinator for the Gators, getting another test. Western Michigan threw the ball around all over the place last week, and UCF they've had an effective offense both running and passing early in this game.
Just a nice job by that offensive line of McCray, Laurenti, Beecham, and Wilson coming off the ball, getting movement, but a nice job by the defense of pushing back, not giving a yard.
Amari Howard is the tailback, and the fumble may have been recovered by Florida. The Gators think they've got it, and they do. Bad exchange from Penn to fullback Paige Sessoms, and the football is recovered by Derek Chambers.
And you've got to put that fumble on the quarterback. You know, the fullback is trying to run off tackle here, and it's up to Penn to get out and get him the football. You know, he's giving him the ball as if he's running over the guard, not over the tackle. There was a hole outside, and Sessom started to run there, but never got the football.
Chambers, the big fella out of Lawndale, North Carolina, threw a goose egg last week against Western Michigan. No tackles, no assisted tackles, no sacks, no nothing. And he was determined to get his name in the scoreboard today, and he just did.
Well, this should help get him off the sty.
And a touchdown to Darrell Jackson. The Gators go right for the jugular on first down after recovering the fumble.
And that is a typical Steve Spurrier call. You know that the other team is a little down after the turnover. You come back, you go play action left, and you bring Darrell Jackson out on a corner route. Just a nice job of faking here. And that's what happens when you've got a running game. That sucks the linebackers up. Nice throw. Darrell Jackson catches the football, does a nice job of getting into the end zone for the touchdown.
Rico Joseph trying to cover, and he tackled Jackson into the end zone as the extra point by Chandler is good. And the Florida Gators take a 14-7 lead on the Golden Knights of the University of Central Florida. Another look.
Here's another look at just what Doug Johnson sees, and he sees Darrell Jackson come wide open. But look at the effort by Darrell Jackson of knowing where the goal line is and making sure he gets across the goal line before he's tackled by Joseph.
I'll be sure to tune into Sunshine Network weeknights at 10 for Sunshine Network Live. Join the host, Pat Clark, for an hour of in-depth interviews. Features interviews, highlights from around the sports world with a focus on sports here in the Sunshine State. And you, the fan, can participate online and also have a chance to win great prizes by answering the Sunshine Network Live trivia question of the night. Sunshine Network Live Tuesday through Friday evenings at 10 only on Sunshine Network. Travis Taylor, a touchdown reception. Now Darrell Jackson, a touchdown catch. Two splendid wideouts for the Florida Gators. Jackson, the junior from Tampa, Taylor, the junior from Jacksonville. And those two can really go and get the football and then know what to do with it after they catch it.
And that's critical. You know, there's a lot of guys that can get open and catch the football, but there's very few that after they catch the football have the ability to make people miss or the strength to get into the end zone. So that's a large factor to have in your arsenal.
Phi is standing deep at the goal line as Chandler gets ready to kick off. The Gators have taken the lead after falling behind early, 7-0. Phi ambling over to about the 5-yard line. That's where he'll bring it. And again, he is level. Manuel was there in a hurry. And I think Matt McCowan was in on that tackle as well on the special teams, number 36. This game is brought to you in part by Gatorade. Life's a sport. Drink it up. There is a flag on the plate.
unbeknownst by these fans, obviously. Well, unless they're going to mark it off against UCF, it looks like the way the Gators are assembling around the 15-yard line. This one's going back the other way.
Play, dead ball foul, personal foul.
Referee Bill Goss, veteran of Southeastern Conference, officiating. Veteran crew along with him today at the Swamp. The Golden Knights of Central Florida, University of Central Florida, and their mascot putting on a show down there in front of a good number of Golden Knight fans. They made the short drive from Orlando. They played with the big boys. This is the biggest crowd that UCF has played in front of, but they have played in Auburn. They played Ole Miss. Played a number of Southeastern Conference schools. South Carolina was on their schedule several years ago.
And David, that's part of really the beauty of UCF is that they're not dodging the big boys. You know, most schools would say, let me get some smaller schools, get some easy victories, but they've played the top competition, and they understand that playing the best competition is how they get better, and eventually will have a shot at being one of the top teams in the nation.
Gator fans, don't miss the soccer action. The defending national champion Florida Gators host Vanderbilt in the Adidas Showdown, 2:30. That's 2:30 on Sunday. Admission is free. Let's go to Larry Vitale.
On the sideline to keep you guessing about their formation. Trouble is the play clock was running. They were still on the sideline with 4 seconds on it. Had to use the timeout.
All right, Larry, I'm not sure if everybody heard all of what Larry had to say. We had what appeared to be some mic problems there.
Well, I think what Larry was trying to say is that they were huddling up on the sideline to not show their formation, but in the process, they ended up having to use a timeout because they didn't get back in time enough to get the plays called and snapped.
Well, that ball was thrown right on the money, but Lee was not able to bring it in. Benny Alexander put the big hit on him.
Benny Alexander did a nice job of closing on the ball after it was in the air. That's a long pass, so that shows you that Big Penn has a nice and a strong arm as he's able to get the ball out to Kenny Clark on the deep out and get it to him. It should have been caught.
Big Penn threw for 2 touchdowns against Florida and Columbia as a member of the Gamecocks team in '97. South Carolina threw a scare into the Gators that day. Had a big lead at the half, as I recall. And almost a safety. Just about had him in the backfield. Teddy Sims almost had Big Penn for 2 points.
Well, David, last week we saw the 4-man rush. Here you see John Hope bringing a linebackers. You see Teddy Sims coming, getting the sack at the 1-yard line on Big Penn. Young man out of Belglade, Florida.
How many great athletes have come out of that area of the state of Florida? Pahokee, Belglade, Clewiston. 3rd down and long for UCF. And they managed to squeeze out a couple of yards and set up a 4th down situation. And with what happened to their special teams last week, this has to have Mike Cruz and UCF fans a little bit nervous as they'll punt it from deep in the end zone.
Well, they're a little nervous, but all they're trying to do is get enough room that hopefully the kicker will be able to get the kickoff as they tried to pick up 2 or 3 yards. Give him additional room for the punt.
The injured player for UCF, Willie Comerford, the sophomore who transferred from Michigan State, highly touted high school star. And Comerford is shaken up. Played at Gibbs High in St. Petersburg, one of the top prospects on the line in the state of Florida, coming out as a senior, went to Michigan State, transferred to UCF. And he is the injured player for the Golden Knights.
And he's a big kid at 6'4", 320 pounds, a sophomore, and a guy that UCF is expecting big things from in the future.
We'll stay with Sunshine on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock for Fox's NFL This Morning, followed by Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier at noon. Chris Myers and Marv Levy and Jackie Slater take you around the NFL, and then immediately following, Coach Steve Spurrier reviews the week's Gator game. It's NFL This Morning, followed by Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier. That's Sunday mornings beginning at 11 and only on Sunshine Network. And that's good news for the Golden Knights. Comerford is able to walk off the field under his own power. Javier Borleggi, who had difficulty last week, a couple of bad snaps. Mike Hedge, the snapper, had a tough time last week in the Citrus Bowl against Purdue. And let's see if he can get this one back to Borleggi. This one's high, and Borleggi barely gets it away. It's not going to go far, however. And special team problems continue to haunt the Golden Knights. That is a 9-yard punt.
Well, there you see Mike. He's got to be a little frustrated, but this is not Borleggi's fault here. This is a horrible snap by the center, and he just does a nice job of just legging it out of there, trying not to give up the safety.
They had several high snaps last week. And Hedge is a guy that did a marvelous job snapping the ball long snaps last year for UCF. Having his problems early this season. Florida, great field position. Here's Graham. He is a load, a tough guy to bring down, and Ernest Graham bangs inside the 10. UCF says they've recovered a fumble. We've seen no official indication. Ernest put the ball on the ground 2 or 3 times last week, and the whistle had been blown.
And that's something that he's got to start doing a better job of protecting the football. You know, the ball comes out after he hits the ground, but last week 3 times he did the same thing. He put the ball on the ground after he hit the ground, and you cannot allow those officials to have to make those calls.
Graham gets the call again. Good surge forward. Well, he's got that strong lean, doesn't he, Nat? Where
he's got a tremendous lean
to bring down, and when he does fall, he falls 2 or 3 yards forward.
And I can see why the ball comes out on such a regular basis. We see this offensive line just do a great job of dissecting there. Nice job by Roberts, but look at the power and the strength that this young man shows as he's always battling for extra yardage.
Graham the tailback, Roberts the fullback. Johnson's going to throw it. Great catch by Taylor. Touchdown Gators.
Well, Travis Taylor has shown us tremendous acrobatic ability as for the second touchdown of the day. He makes a nice adjustment on the ball as the ball is thrown behind him and outside. Watch him do a 360 and make a tremendous catch. 360, tremendous catch as he catches the ball for the touchdown.
Well, David Bush can't do much more defensively. He was right up on the chest of Travis Taylor. It was just a tremendous catch as Chandler is still perfect, and a good throw by Doug Johnson, by the way, which made it tough for Bush to make the interception.
And our viewers at home probably have no idea how tough a throw this is. You're talking about the 1-yard line is where the ball is. He's got 11 yards to fit this in, and there he throws it nice, high outside where only his guy can make the catch. Nice throw by Doug Johnson, even if Travis Taylor had to make the adjustment.
Danny Werfel made a living out of that fade pass for the Gators for 4 seasons. And Doug Johnson, who I think a year or 2 ago probably couldn't have made that pass. He always wanted to zing it in there, and he's learned how to take a little off and what the value of touch can do for you, and that was a great example of beautifully thrown pass to Travis Taylor.
Well, you've got to be able to throw the ball up and over when necessary, as we see the scoring drive there. 3 plays, 14 yards, and a minute and 13 seconds. But as a receiver, that really hurts your average, you know, a 1-yard reception for a touchdown.
He didn't look too upset over on the sideline. Well, UCF, a fumble leads to a short Florida touchdown drive. Now a bad snap on a punt out of the end zone, and a short punt gives the Gators the field position, which enables them to score again. So the Golden Knights have helped the Gator cause in this first quarter. After UCF scored first, Florida now has reeled off 3 consecutive touchdowns and leads 21-7. Jeff Fye waits at the 6. This time he gets a little more breathing room and out near the 25-yard line before being taken down by Alex Brown and company. Matt McCowan was there again as well.
Gators doing a nice job of going down on coverage, fighting off the blocker, getting back into the lanes, and not allowing Fye anywhere to run with the football, holding him to a very short return.
Golden Knights began so promising with the pass interception, and then the long touchdown drive, which puts them up 7-0. Now find themselves down by 2 touchdowns. Vic Penn, pass is complete to Kenny Clark, and Clark is out of bounds at the 36-yard line. UCF, they've got a sophisticated passing game. They're going to test anybody in the secondary, and Florida, which had its problems last week, is going to have its hands full again today.
And what you've got to do is you don't want to give up the big play. So, you know, as we see there, Benny Alexander is sitting back, reading the quarterback and breaking up on the ball. He just got to make the short tackle and hope that eventually they get a pass rush, which will not allow Vic Penn all day to throw the football, as we see here.
And it's Charles Lee with the reception. The ball comes out, but it is blown dead at the 47-yard line. Alexander is hit, shook the ball loose, but the play had been blown dead.
Well, David, last week the Gators got very little pressure against Western Michigan, and here once again you see Vic Penn standing tall in the pocket, and anytime you can do that, a good quarterback is going to hit his open receivers.
Penn's numbers impressive in the early going of this first quarter. We're approaching the 2-minute mark in the period. On the ground this time, and Williams banged up behind the line of scrimmage. Terrence Williams, the junior. There's Keith Kelsey made the tackle. There's Lito Shepard, the freshman from Jacksonville, who just played a few snaps last week, played 11 plays last week. Robert Cromartie and Shepard battling for playing time in that Florida secondary at a cornerback position. And the coaching staff said they were going to get Shepard out there and give him more snaps today, and they have in the early going.
Well, with a team that go 4 and 5 receivers, you've almost got to get him out there just so that you can get enough defensive backs on the field. So he should see a lot of action here today.
UCF had him spread out all over the place that time. Referee Bill Goss. And I think everybody else carrying a yellow cloth threw a flag.
Illegal participation on the defense.
Going to go against the Gators. They had too many on the field.
That's a first down.
I'm not sure it was they had too many on as far as people running on the field late. But, you know, one of the things that's interesting as we look at Mike Krusik here is that 5-6 years ago, Steve Spurrier was going with 5 receivers out, 5 guys out of the backfield, nobody back there to protect the quarterback. Now you see everybody trying to copy it. And what we see is the Gators getting a little bit of their own medicine here as Central Florida, or UCF, shall I say, is going 3 and 4 wide almost every play.
4 wide this time. Penalty flag is dropped again as Edward Mack, who scored the only Golden Knights touchdown of the game, brought down at about the 37-yard line. Again, the penalty flag has been thrown, and the officials now talk to Florida team captains about whether or not they want to accept or decline. Marquand Manuel looking over to the sideline. The play stopped the Golden Knights near the line of scrimmage, so no matter whether or not they want the down, they'll decline and take the down.
You know, David, going back to a couple plays ago, one of the things that happen when a team goes 3 and 4 wide, sometimes 5 wide receivers, it forces the defense to be on top of things because they've got to make the adjustments, make the substitutions to counter that, and they've got to make sure everybody gets the word and people that are supposed to come out of the ball game.
Penn showing good mobility as a flag is thrown. And Vic Penn steps out of bounds. He'll have a first down at the 28-yard line. But it looked like it's probably going to be a hold against the University of Central Florida. UCF backpedaling.
Well, that time it looked like the left tackle.
Holding on the offense. The penalty on the running play is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
Let's go back and see if we got a glimpse to see exactly what happened. If you look here on the right side of your screen, which is their left, you'll see the left tackle just reach out and tackle Alex Brown as he goes on a bull rush, allowing Vic Penn to come out the backside for a big gain. Can't do that.
And Alex Brown double teamed and still held him. Brown had 2 sacks last week against Western Michigan. Quick flare pass, dropped by Hinshaw and incomplete. That's Tyson Hinshaw, the brother of Darren, who was a quarterback at UCF back in 91 through 96, 94 rather.
Well, last week in a losing effort, Tyson Hinshaw caught 4 balls for 63 yards. So you can see why they're trying to get it to him on a quick screen, a little belly route, and see if he can do something with it and pick up some big yards to get that first down.
On 3rd down and long for UCF. They go with 4 wides. Edward Mack in the backfield with Penn. Pass is caught by Charles Lee. And Lee can't break free and is out of bounds at the 45-yard line. UCF will be faced with a 4th down and about 17.
As we go back, you'll see Vic Penn go out to the right side as he hits Lee. Nice catch of the ball after the juggle, avoiding the tackle. But the Gators really got lucky on that particular play because to the far side they had an uncovered receiver with no one in the vicinity, and Vic Penn didn't pick that up and go to him.
Borlegi back to punt the ball. And this time a good snap. Shea Caldwell never had a chance to catch the punt, and flags are thrown everywhere. Ball into the end zone, but that'll be penalty against UCF. You got to give him a little bit of room to catch the punt.
Well, that was an ill-advised effort by Rashae Caldwell. The penalty would be called against UCF. Hopefully, so I'm not wrong again. Let's wait and see. But that was the time when he really should have signaled for the fair catch and came up and caught the football.
Conference around the 10-yard line to talk things over. Borlegi, by the way, had 43 yards on that punt, so when given a decent snap, he can do a pretty good job.
5-yard interference foul on the kicking team. That penalty's declined. The play results in a touchback. First down.
Well, the ball comes out to the 20, which is better field position than if the Gators had accepted the penalty.
Yeah, right here, Rashae Caldwell has got to come up and signal fair catch and make the catch. He's got to come up with some assurance that he's going to make the play. There, he was sort of wandering into it. He never signaled for the fair catch, and it just happened that Snyder didn't give him room to catch the football. Otherwise, if he'd given him a little bit more room, he could have knocked that ball loose, and the Gators would have been pinned back around the 2-yard line.
Johnson on the give. Jackson on the end around. He'll have a first down to the 31-yard line, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. 4 touchdowns on the board, and the Gators lead it 21-7.
A reminder from Discount Auto Parts. With thousands of car and truck parts and lots of convenient locations, we can help make your Cutlass supreme again. Discount Auto Parts. The place to start when you need parts.
When I need parts for my family car, I go to Discount Auto Parts. They've got all the car and truck parts I need in lots of convenient locations. If you want to save time and money, make a pit stop at Discount Auto Parts. The place to start when you need parts.
Gene therapy is the idea of using genes, literally the genes and the pieces of DNA, to treat patients' diseases.
The approach we're using to treat patients with inherited disease is to take a normal gene that patient might be missing, put this gene back into cells in a way that repairs those cells.
This is the beginning where heart transplants might have been 30 years ago. That's where we are with gene therapy now.
It's the way a house smells when there's bread baking in the oven. The way mothers know how to make sandwiches just right. It's the way we try to know each of our customers by name, or at least by sandwich. And it's the way all your favorite things combine into something even better, right before your eyes. It's probably why people rate us so highly for quality, survey after survey, even though it can be hard to answer questions with your mouth full. Subway, it's the way a sandwich should be.
This game is brought to you in part by Subway, the way a sandwich should be, and by Blue Cross Blue Shield. What if you didn't have to worry about health care?
Well, David, in the first half, the Gators got off to a bad start. 9 plays, UCF was able to go down and score a touchdown, but since then they've forced a punt after 3 plays, a fumble after 3 plays, and 7 plays and another punt. So the Gator defense, even though they're giving up some yardage and bending, they're starting to bow their backs and stop this UCF offense.
Florida gave up too many big plays last week against Western Michigan. Gillespie trying to break off a big play here as the second quarter gets underway from the swamp. Gillespie out near midfield on a big gainer. Give him about 17 yards on the play, and Travis Fisher may have saved a touchdown for the Golden Knights.
And watch Gillespie here. Nice hole up there, but watch him give it a chance to develop. And now here's where he's got to make a decision and go. As you see Daryl Jackson blocking downfield, and then you get the running back run up your back. Make a decision, right or left, go. But don't run into me if I'm blocking for you.
All 3 Gator tailbacks done a great job today, and here's Carroll again. Or Gillespie, rather. I mean, inside the 45-yard line of UCF. Look in our first quarter statistics. Florida with 9 first downs and 7 for the Golden Knights. Rushing yardage, 67 yards in the first quarter for the Florida Gators.
And when you look at the first downs, most of those first downs was in that first drive by UCF. Since then, the Gators have done a better job of stacking it up and forcing them to kick the football.
Gillespie got 7 on first down. There's a blitz coming up the middle, and Johnson connects with Travis Taylor. Taylor trying to turn the corner is dragged out of bounds by Tito Rodriguez, the sophomore from Lehigh Acres, Florida.
And this is just a nice job of running, and we see the old stiff arm on David Bush after the catch. Now watch him stick that left arm out, push off. Just a nice job of running after the catch, and that's what these 2 guys do so well, Travis Taylor and Daryl Jackson, is run after the catch.
Taylor to the left, Jackson split wide to the right. Johnson has Taylor open. No place to go. They had him wedged in over on the sideline as Jeff Fye and Rodriguez both were there to make sure Travis Taylor didn't break a big one.
Well, a little razzle-dazzle that really didn't work. But I tell you what's the great thing about this play here. Watch Doug Johnson. He looks downfield. He's trying to get the ball to Daryl Jackson. It's not there. He knows he's got Travis Taylor out here in the flat safety valve. Didn't force the issue.
Gators have run 1 end around and faked one that time. Gillespie running it up the middle, no place to go. About the 28-yard line. I imagine there might be a few folks up in East Tennessee tuned in to the telecast tonight, watching to see what Steve Spurrier has in store for UCF and what he might do next weekend. Tennessee has the weekend off after their big opener against Wyoming last week in a slow start for the Volunteers, but they played much better as Florida did as the game wore on.
Well, I would not be surprised to see a couple of people from Tennessee here watching the football game. Trying to spy as much as they can to pick up as much information.
Well, they might be here
for next week.
But I'd be surprised if you saw them.
Oh, they won't have on the Tennessee orange.
Montefled made a nice tackle. Graham almost shook free.
Well, he just
wouldn't let go.
Well, he just does a nice job of not allowing the first tackler to bring him down.
The first guy very seldom will bring down Ernest Graham, and that's strictly because he's got such a low center of gravity and great balance and is extremely strong in his legs.
Fourth down, Florida will go for it. They need 3 yards. There was movement all through the lines. There may have been a Florida man that jumped after a UCF player jumped offside. The tight end on the right side of the Florida line, Aaron Kenny, I think he moved after UCF went over.
Well, the key is whether they call it against him reacting to Elton Patterson.
Offsides by the defense. That 5-yard penalty creates a first down.
Nice job of using the cadence by Doug Johnson. Shows you the maturity as you see him pull Elton Patterson off, and Kenny moves in reaction to that. So what they're calling is they're allowing him to move as a reaction because Patterson was in the neutral zone, if that makes sense.
All right, I'm with you. Because you are the man.
I don't know about that, but I'm going to study my rule books.
It's your story, and you're going to stick to it. On first down, Johnson. And a flag is thrown. Gillespie and John Johnson, boy, he's running right over to Robert Gillespie. And
well, that's part of being a
telling
leader.
Him, where he needed to go.
Well, that was a time when Robert Gillespie needed to just uncover. You know, the guy was with him right there in the flat. If he turns upfield, he's got a touchdown. It would have been called back anyway, but it still would have been a nice adjustment by the young man, Robert Gillespie, to uncover once he knows he's covered, because he's got to give the quarterback somewhere to throw the football.
I think Steve Spurrier rubbing off on Doug Johnson a little bit. I don't think I've seen Doug be quite so demonstrative when one of his teammates didn't do exactly what he thought he should do.
But that's fine as long as it's objective criticism. You know, when you go and just belittle the guy, that's one thing. But when you go and you start trying to help him, as we see,
that is pretty.
You talk about two guys that are a tremendous combination, Doug Johnson and Travis Taylor, and this ball is thrown strictly on timing. He goes back, he's got pressure, they're able to push the offensive line back into space. He just throws it to a spot. Watch the push that UCF get up front as they push him back. Little play act, little pump fake, and a perfect pass as Travis Taylor does a nice job of looking the ball in for the touchdown.
Travis Taylor has 3 touchdown catches already, and 12 minutes to play in the second quarter. Chandler's extra point is good. After spotting Central Florida Knights, a 7-0 lead, the Gators have reeled off 4 unanswered touchdowns.
What if I want to discover a place no one's ever been?
What if I want to leave everything behind and teach?
What if I want to learn a whole new language?
Whatever path you go down in life, you can take comfort in knowing there's a healthcare organization that'll always be one step ahead of you.
What if I want to just
be? What if you didn't have to worry about healthcare? Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Stay tuned to receive your free trial version of America's #1 accounting software for small business.
Okay, folks, here's your business cards, letterhead, and my invoice.
How did you create this invoice?
With QuickBooks accounting software, I called the toll-free number and got a free trial version.
Wish I had time to learn new software.
It takes no time. Answer a few simple questions and QuickBooks tailors itself to your business automatically. And if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. QuickBooks makes it easy to see who owes you money and how much you owe. It also does invoicing, payroll, and inventory. Plus, you get customizable reports and graphs that puts you in control of your business.
To try QuickBooks free, call 1-800-955-1655 for your free trial version. Or if you also need time tracking, estimating, and project costing, then try QuickBooks Pro. Either trial is yours free for calling 1-800-955-1655. That's 1-800-955-1655.
Yankees-Indians, Thursday at 7 on Sunshine.
You're watching Breakfast with the Gators right here on Sunshine Network.
4th-ranked Florida Gators now out to a 28-7 lead against the University of Central Florida Golden Knights early in the second quarter. UCF starts first
But Florida has had it all going their way since the Golden Knights took that 7-0 lead. Mack is the deep man. This time rather than 5. So here is Mack after a good kick from Chandler, and Mack brings it out from the goal line. And down he goes at about the 15-yard line. Marcus Kendo Johnson made the tackle. Let's go to Larry Mattel on the sideline.
Well, David, the Florida offense certainly has looked great their last 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns, but let's give a little tip of the hat to that defense. After the starting drive, in which UCF went the length of the field, the Florida defense has really tightened down. They forced a turnover, got a 3-and-out deep in UCF territory to lead to an easy score as well. The Gator defense is turning it on as well.
Man right there is happy about that. 80 yards, 9 plays. Taylor, 3 touchdown receptions today. Vic Penn going to throw it deep, and Lee is there, but he can't pull it in. Well, you can't throw it any better. Lee had a step on the defensive back, Manuel, and he just could not bring it in.
Well, anytime that you've got that much time to throw the football and you're asking your strong safety to cover Charles Lee, a sprinter, down the field, 50-yard, he's going to get a step. The Gators are very fortunate that Lee was not able to pull it in, but you just got to get a better pass rush from that front four. You know, we've been spoiled through the years with great defensive lines that are able to get pressure from the front four.
And Penn has had all day to throw tonight. Again, good protection and another drop pass. Penn put it right on the money once again, intended for Tavares Davis, and the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale would like to have another crack at that one. So would Mike Kruzik.
Here's another look. As you can see, this UCF offensive line is just doing a good job of creating lanes for Penn to throw the football, and that time Davis just let the ball play him. He didn't catch it in his hands. He didn't look, trying to look the ball into his hands, and it just went right through his arms.
No fault to Vic Penn's. It's 3rd and 10. This time a little pressure, and Penn had a little case of the happy feet standing back in the pocket. I think Davis was the intended receiver. He hadn't thrown many bad balls, but that one he just dumped.
Well, that time he got a little pressure from Thad Bullard as he's able to come back inside, and it forces him to throw the ball a little early as he's trying to throw around the middle linebacker, Andre Davis, threw it into the dirt.
Javier Borlegui back to punt the ball. John Capel is the deep man for the Gators. Good snap. Gators get the rush. They block it. McCowan blocked the punt, and Florida recovers in the end zone for the touchdown. Matt McCowan came screaming through there. Or was it Todd Johnson? It was 26 or 36. Was it 26?
Todd Johnson.
He came screaming through there and easily gobbled up the punt. Well, let's take another look. Watch 26 Johnson.
Well, Borlegui doesn't have a prayer of getting this kick off because Johnson came through the center untouched. You know, you've got to get a hat on the nearest guy, and whoever the up back is took the wrong guy. You've got to take the most dangerous guy, and that time it was Johnson, and Westbrook recovered it for the touchdown.
Oh, and the extra point is blocked by UCF. And so the Gators get 6 points out of it on the block punt and a recovery by Marquise Westbrook.
You know, he must have a huge wireless bill.
Nah, it's Primeco. Same thing I got. Free voicemail, free caller ID.
No annual contract?
Yeah. If it wasn't for Primeco, I couldn't even afford wireless.
You guys ready to get back at it?
All right. Who messed up my pretty work?
I don't know, but he's barefoot now.
Right now, get a $30 mail-in rebate on all new digital phones like this $99 AudioVox phone for only $69 after rebate.
Go ahead and call. It's Primeco.
So tired of waiting for you.
Checkers, fresh because we just made it.
Universities have always been about expanding horizons, enriching the student's experience. At UCF, a now university, we've raised the stakes. In one of the most dynamic areas of the world, UCF taps the region's unrivaled resources through partnerships with industry and government. The University of Central Florida, a now university, Florida's educational attraction.
Another superstar recruiting class has Billy Donovan's Gator basketball team shooting for new heights in the upcoming season. Interest is certainly at an all-time high. So call now to order your season tickets. 1-800-34-GATOR before it's too late. Gator basketball, it's up and running. Well, the Gators have put on a blitzkrieg against UCF since falling behind early 7-0. And now they've added a block punt to the repertoire for tonight's football game. With the wind at his back, Jeff Chandler kicks one 5 yards deep. Here's another look at the block punt by Todd Johnson.
And here you see Borlegi that doesn't have a prayer of getting it off, as Johnson is almost able to take the ball off of his foot, and Marquise Westbrook comes in and recovers for the touchdown.
And then moments later, Jeff Chandler kicked the ball, looked like right into the line, may have hit somebody in the head.
Now somebody forgot to tell Jeff height. You got to get it up. That time it looked like he line drive it right into the line, to the offensive line.
Chandler had been perfect this year. Before that one misfires. Big Pen dancing around. Finds an open receiver. That's the fullback, Sessoms, and the Golden Knights pick up a first down to the 35-yard line as Benny Alexander makes the tackle.
Well, Sessom will get credit for this catch, but Big Pen does a magician's job of avoiding the rush of Alex Brown and all of the Gator defenders, and then is able to complete this ball to Sessom for the first down.
By the way, that block punt by Florida was the 19th during this decade. And they're 18-0 in games in which they blocked the punt coming into tonight. Penn standing tall in the pocket. Lee with the catch at about the 47-yard line. It'll be another UCF first down as Lito Shepard, talented but young freshman from Jacksonville, was in coverage.
Well, he's got Lito Shepard in coverage, but this is basically a zone defense, and a nice job by Vic Penn of throwing around the linebackers. He waited for Lee to uncover behind Eugene McCaslin.
UCF has picked up 2 first downs on this sequence. And Penn finds an open receiver again. Pass is complete by to Davis. And Tavares Davis across the midfield stripe, and Eugene McCaslin makes the tackle at the 45.
And I tell you, David, one of the problems with a defense this young is if you commit your linebackers, now you take the young corners and safeties and you put them in one-on-one positions where you give up the big play. Where if you drop back into a zone trying to help the defensive backs, now you've got the defensive line trying to make plays.
And the result is a lot of completed passes by Vic Penn. And even when he has not thrown completed passes, he's had a couple of drops.
He's had a couple of drops, couple of plays called back, but he's doing a nice job of reading this Florida defense and finding the open guy.
Receiver downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Well, now throwing 4 or 5 wideouts out there is one thing, but when you start sending linemen.
Well, I think what happens is the illegal receiver downfield, it's not really alignment. It's where the receivers line up both on the line of scrimmage. So therefore, the receiver that's in the slot that goes downfield is a covered receiver. So he's ineligible now. So that's one of the problems that you run into when you're running a lot of people in and out of a football game is, you know, guys got to know where they're on the field. Who's supposed to be back? Who's supposed to be up on the line of scrimmage?
This time the wideouts. And then 2 in the slot to the left. That's going to be 6. Charles Lee all the way for UCF. There was nobody back there after he made the reception. You knew he was headed for pay dirt.
And another bad angle by Lester Norwood. Once this ball is complete, he's got to give ground and make sure that he's in an area where he can help Lito Sheppard, because Lito Sheppard gets beat on a quick slant, but there's no way that the free safety should not be there to make a play on this football or on the receiver.
Well, the senior has his 10th career touchdown reception for UCF. He's a good one, and UCF, with its second touchdown of the game, it's now 34-14 Florida.
SunshineNetwork.com is taking you to the turf with its college football pool. Join a league, pick each week's winners, and compete online for fantastic prizes, including a big screen TV. Get in the game. The college football pool at SunshineNetwork.com.
Nervous energy will be all around when the Tennessee Vols come to town. The Gators will be hungry. Can they focus on revenge? Breakfast with the Gators next Sunday morning at 8 on Sunshine.
Is your car still running bad? Well, don't get mad. Get Motor Up, the no oil change engine treatment for a smoother, quieter, and cooler running car. Over 3 million people have already added Motor Up to their automobiles, and now you can too with our special 30-day free trial offer. Just call the number on your screen and tell the operator that you want to try Motor Up before you buy it. This is a unique opportunity for anyone who's never tried Motor Up to try it now risk-free. It's so easy. Just add 1 bottle to your car's engine, and you'll see, feel, and hear a difference almost immediately.
Without a doubt, it's definitely running cooler. And it's running quieter.
This doesn't shake at all. Look at it.
It's definitely running smoother.
Use Motor Up and you'll get the same amazing results. And because you don't have to change your oil to add Motor Up, you'll save time and money. Before you spend more on costly repairs, call this number now. Put Motor Up to the test and see for yourself. This incredible 30-day free trial offer won't last long, so call now.
SunshineNetwork.com is the source for golf. From the fairways to the greens, from the course to the clubhouse. Log on to SunshineNetwork.com for all of the latest information on the links.
Well, we'll take another look as Vic Penn connecting with Charles Lee, and the Gators would like to have this one back defensively, wouldn't it?
Good throw and catch. A rookie mistake by Lito Sheppard by not staying outside. You know, you don't make a play on the ball unless you're sure you can get there.
Shea Caldwell returns this one for the Gators, and he is tackled and brought down inside of the 30-yard line by Elliott Shorter, sophomore from Quincy, number 18. Well, for all the latest in Gator sports, get in the zone. That's Gatorzone.com, the official website of the Florida Gators. Golden Knight cheerleaders doing some push-ups after the UCF football team puts one in the end zone. Their second touchdown. They scored first, and then the Gators got 34 straight points before UCF has finally answered again. Gators with the ball on the ground. Graham, gang tackle.
Tackle led by Hardman.
UCF has put together 2 nice scoring drives in this game. Once on their first possession, and now here midway in the second quarter.
Yeah, but David, that should have not been a 50-yard reception for a touchdown. It should have been a 15-yard completion. Safety coming over making the tackle, or the corner making the tackle by taking the proper angle.
Another big play, which was the problem last week for Florida's defensive team. Graham, gaping hole, and he knows what to do with it when he gets a little bit of daylight. First down for the Gators near the 50.
Nice job of blocking on that right side. As you got Kenyatta Walker, Cheston Blackshear, and Corey Yarbrough. Good job by Rod Frazier picking up the blitzing linebacker, Devine, and then just running through arm tackles is Ernest Graham.
And off to Graham again. And he squeezes through the middle of the line for another 5, 6, maybe even 7 yards. They'll say his knee went down at the 45. So we'll give him 6 on the first down play. Devine, the senior from Lakeland, made the tackle. Graham is now over the 50-yard mark. And when Gillespie and Carroll have been in there, they've run the ball well also.
Well, the Gators so far this year have been able to run the football with a lot of success, no matter which back is in there, and that's because the offensive line is doing an excellent job of blocking up front.
Well, Johnson had Darrell Jackson open. Play developed. Maybe he had to turn loose of it a little too quickly. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Gators. Well, you expect a lot of points to be scored when Florida takes the field here in the Swamp. And well, we've had them again tonight. 34 points already in the first half by the Gators, and UCF with 2 touchdowns.
Well, this is a very explosive offense, so without a doubt you expect big numbers, especially when you've got both the running game and the passing game going well.
Alex Willis, another one of those receivers for the Gators who knows what to do with the ball when he makes the catch. That time he was brought down at the 21 by Patterson, number 97 for UCF. Willis had a touchdown catch last week, primarily on his ability to run after the reception.
And that was a good job of running there by Alex Willis, knowing exactly what they needed for the first down as he laid out to get as close as he could to the 40-yard line, giving the Gators first down. Didn't get it by much.
Ball is spotted near the 40 of UCF. Rashae Caldwell, flanker screen. He finds a little running room. Broke a tackle. Fye made the tackle. Eventually, along with Danny Hurd. Or rather, that's Marv Richardson, 87 for UCF, along with Fye making the tackle.
Well, Richardson makes this play, but this is because Rashae Caldwell don't know where the little guys are. He keeps running back in there where the big guys. Does a nice job of making people miss, but there's only a couple of guys out to the left with blockers. You've got to reverse your field, get outside where you've got some help there.
You're going to get another chance. Caldwell again cuts it to the inside. He's brought down at the 20, maybe the 19-yard line.
I would just have to say from Rashae's standpoint is that he must know his receivers very well and have no confidence in their blocking ability, because he refuses to take advantage of Brian Hugglebrook out there block as he comes back inside and gives the big guys a chance to make the tackle on him, Jake McKibben.
Less than a yard short of a first down. Caldwell, a couple of receptions back to back. Florida marching the ball up the field again. Jackson is wide open, but the ball is overthrown. Ball shows off his high jumping skills over the hedge in the corner of the end zone. But Johnson would like to have another crack at that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, he gets hit just as he's releasing this ball by Marv Richardson, 6'4", 240-pound defensive end, but this is one that should have been completed. Here's another look. He's got plenty of time to throw the football as David Wells throws an Olay block there, but this is one when you get your guy wide open, you've got to be able to get it to him. You don't have to lead him, just get it to him.
Great surge by the offensive line of the Gators, and an easy first down pickup for Ernest Graham. Florida's front wall blew UCF 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. And initial surge.
And it really says a lot when you get a Corey Yarborough that's, this is his first game, even though he's a senior, starting at the center position, and they're able to run it right up the center on the right side for a first down. Just nice job of getting movement, double teamed by Cheston Blackshear. Nice lead block by Frazier. Easy first down.
He created a first down. After the play, there was a personal foul on the offense. A 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
And there you see Coach Jimmy Ray Stevens is not real happy about that, knowing that one of his offensive linemen did something dumb after the play. Let's go back and see exactly what happened here. There you see Kenyatta Walker, just a little extra push after the play is dead, and you just can't make those kind of mistakes. You can get away with it against the UCFs in Western Michigan, but when you line up against the Tennessees and the Florida States and the SEC opponents, those get you beat.
Walker didn't play last week, serving out a 1-game suspension. Good block. Caldwell got Darrell Jackson a couple of extra yards, and that was enough to pick up the first down. The ball is going to be spotted at about the 15-yard line. Jeff Malden made the tackle.
Well, Jeff Malden makes the tackle, but watch Rashae Caldwell. Forget about Darrell Jackson. I've been getting on Rashae. Now watch the block he puts on Fry, and that's what he wants to see his receivers do. Throw those kind of blocks. It makes his decision-making very easy. A crushing block by Rashae Caldwell on number 4. Jeff 5. I could run through that one. I could make the right decision as old as I am.
There's no question about that. You'd come out here today and probably catch 6 or 7. Score a touchdown or 2. Darrell Jackson close to another Florida first down at the 5-yard line. David Bush made the stop for UCF, which is certainly back on its heels defensively. Florida is just doing whatever it wants to do on the offensive side of the ball.
But a good job by Damon Bush by holding his ground, not going for any of the fakes or feints, and waiting to get help and as he made the tackle.
Bo Carroll, the running back, he's submarine behind the line of scrimmage. UCF gave up a lot of points last week to Purdue. They've surrendered 34 already here tonight against the Florida Gators. But Dante Culpepper is not the only player that they lost off last year's team. I think they had 20 seniors on that football team last year, a lot of them on the defensive side of the ball. So this is a young football club. And they are really taking their licks in the first half, especially when Florida has the ball on offense. Doug Johnson is going to burn the final timeout of the half for the Florida Gators. He didn't like something as he came up to the line of scrimmage. So the senior from Gainesville is going to talk it over with the head ball coach.
Well, most of our people would really be wondering why would he waste that last timeout, but you know that's part of the maturity factor. You're down here close. You don't want to turn the ball over, make a mistake, call timeout, go over the sideline, get it all set, go back and execute.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Shands Healthcare and by your friendly Dodge dealers, proud sponsors of the Florida Gators.
David, one of the things that UCF has done the last play and before Doug Johnson called timeout is they brought 8 men up on the line of scrimmage, 9 men up on the line of scrimmage, going one-on-one outside. And I don't know if Doug Johnson had the proper play on to get the ball to the outside guys, so that might be why he called timeout. If you've got a running play on and they've got everybody stacked up along the line of scrimmage, it's a tough play to run.
All right, so Doug Johnson back in the huddle. Florida looks to get more points on the board with less than 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Hands off to Graham. Bowls his way across the 5 and picks up a first down for the Gators. They are inside the 5-yard line, knocking on the doorstep again.
And let's go back and look at this play. And here's what Steve Spurrier done. Instead of splitting them out, he came with a power run offense and gave the ball to his power back, Ernest Graham, right up the middle, and he's able to drive forward for 3 or 4 yards to pick up the first down. And that's a formation we don't see much, the short yardage formation, because Steve believes in splitting everybody out wide and letting it work from there.
Well, here it is again, but Johnson is going to throw it, and he throws it away. Threw it at the feet of a UCF defender. Travis Taylor was there, though. Elliott Shorter had him covered. And Travis Taylor was the man who was the intended receiver, if there is such a thing, which there really isn't on this play.
Well, this is just a heads-up play by Doug Johnson as he sees Rico Joseph coming free and throws it right at the feet of Travis Taylor, where they cannot call you for intentional grounding because you've got a receiver in the area. The old Doug would have taken the sack.
Ernest Graham ran over someone at the 1-yard line and scores the touchdown.
Well,
a bruising run.
Well, David, that was Chris Gunn that decided he was going to take on Ernest Graham in the hole. And, of course, it turned out to be a bad decision on his part as he got ran over like a Mack truck running over a fly. Let's go back and take another look at it. Good blocking up front, but watch the contact by Ernest Graham as he just runs over Chris Gunn, number 9, for the touchdown.
Chandler drills the extra point, and it is 41-14, still with 3:06 to play in the first half. And Florida's offense is hitting on all cylinders, running and passing the football. Graham has the touchdown run. Let's take another look at what happened to Graham and Mr. Gunn.
Well, this is what you dream about if you're a linebacker, to get one-on-one in the hole where there's nowhere for the back to go. But sometimes the dream turns into a nightmare when you meet Ernest Graham and he runs right through you for the touchdown.
Let's go to the sideline now, and Larry Vittel with an update. Larry.
Okay, David, obviously the Gators are having it going offensively. 5 straight positions they've been able to get a touchdown. This one that really stood out to me was Florida had second teamers on the left side. Mike Pearson and Ben Brown, the left side backups, played that entire drive, and the running, the ability to run straight ahead when they needed a few yards, the kind of thing that's going to pay off down the line if they can keep it going.
That's a good point. Good depth in the offensive line for the Gators. They lose Zach Zadalis for at least 1 week, maybe next week as well. And still just plug Corey Yarborough in the starting center position. Carlisle and Caleb, Yarborough, Blackshear, Walker, Mike Pearson provides good depth at the tackle positions. And that's what you've got to have a top-notch college football contender on the national level. You've got to be able to have people that you can plug in there when injuries do occur, and they are going to occur.
Well, David, last year the Gators were only able to run the football for 9 touchdowns all year, and this young man Ernest Graham already has 4 this year. So I would say that the Gators have found their bruising back for inside the 10-yard line.
Another impressive offensive possession by the Gators. Graham finishes it off. In Florida's last 5 possessions offensively, Nat, they've scored 5 touchdowns.
And that's impressive. You know, the average viewer at home would say, well, how good is UCF? They gave up a bunch of points against Purdue, but they came in here, and you're playing the University of Florida. You're playing against kids that you play against in high school. So there's a pride factor on the line that hopefully would motivate them to play a little bit better. And there's a good look at the offensive line. Walker, Blackshear, Carlisle. And Cooper Carlisle last week played right tackle. Kenyatta Walker comes back. They move him to left. He slides over, does an excellent job no matter where they put him. And there you see Mike Pearson, who possibly, if he continued to work, could be the best ever.
And Florida has had some great ones. Almost intercepted, and a linebacker dropping, and Andre Davis says that's why I play on this side of the ball.
Well, you know, as a defender, you're always told knock the ball down, but Andre Davis gets a great drop. You know, he's back 15, 20 yards and is in the way of this reception. Should have been an interception, but then again, we're not going to hold it against him. He did everything right but catch the ball.
2nd and 10.
If he could catch the ball, he'd be a tight end.
Exactly. Receiver fell down, Hinshaw. And that pass almost intercepted. McCaslin, another linebacker, in pass coverage. Now it's 3rd down and 10. There's the big boys down there getting a little sip of Gatorade. It's a lot cooler here tonight than it was last Saturday night. Temperature at kickoff was about 85 degrees, and we got a breeze of 10 to 15 miles per hour coming out of the northeast. Last week we were just boiling up here in the press box with no breeze. Penn's pass is incomplete, intended for Davis. That was a well-thrown ball, but it popped in and out of the hand of the intended receiver. And Gators had all kinds of folks around the receiver. Daryl Dixon, a true freshman from Oak Hill, getting some playing time. He did a nice job.
And that's why the receiver was not able to come down with the football, because he's stretched out in the air. He's looking at the football, looking through the football, looking at Daryl Dixon. No, he's going to get cracked. But if he was smart, he'd know he might as well catch, because he's going to get hit anyway.
Dixon only played 10 plays last week, so John Hope's getting him some early playing time this week. That's Shea Caldwell on the punt reception. Almost turned it loose, but he fell on it after a 28-yard punt by Javier Borleggi. Coming up at the half, I'll visit with Dr. Betty Capaldi, the provost at the University of Florida. Take a look at first half stats and highlights. And that's coming up at the half. 41 14 is the score. Florida Gators and the UCF Knights for the first time in the history of college football in the Sunshine State. These two state universities go head-to-head on the gridiron. Gillespie, the ball carrier, picks up 4 yards out to the 40. Ferguson made the tackle. Senior from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Suncoast High School.
We got a lot of players wearing the white and gold of UCF tonight that would have liked to have donned the orange and blue of Florida. And they came in here with something to prove tonight. Shake Caldwell shakes free from David Bush, and Edwin Ferguson comes in to finish him off.
Nice job of holding on to the football, coming down with the catch with the defender David Bush hanging all over him. What he does here that makes the reception, he comes back to meet the football, not allowing David Bush to close the cushion, giving him the reception.
Caldwell again makes the catch. And look at him go after the reception. He may go all the way. Travis Taylor clearing a path out of bounds is Caldwell at the 3-yard line of the Golden Knights.
Well, I'll tell you what. Rashae Caldwell decided he was going to make me wrong no matter what, because once again he catches the ball on the left side of the field with good blocking, but he cuts back and comes all the way back to his right. Put a nice move on Demps, and then just watch him run through arm tackles, and now he's got Travis Taylor out front blocking for him, but he doesn't get it in. Nice job of running by Rashae Caldwell.
He's had a great second quarter, has Caldwell. Gillespie hammering it up the middle. He's down at the 2. Clock ticking, 1:12 to play in the first half. Florida looking to pour on more points in what has already been an explosive 2 quarters of football for the Florida Gators. 41 points on the scoreboard already. Gillespie is the only running back. Johnson fades it for Jackson. It is incomplete. Good coverage over in the corner by Asante Samuel, a freshman from Fort Lauderdale.
And this particular play, Asante Samuels just goes through the receiver, not allowing him to catch the football.
There's the freshman who played at Boyd Anderson High School. No timeouts left for Florida. They're going to put it on the ground in the hands of Gillespie, and he dives in for the touchdown.
I have to give him a 10 on that dive. Nice acrobatic effort as he went up and over for the touchdown. Damian Demps thought he had a shot at it, but Robert Gillespie took the high road and went up and over. This is a beautiful dive. He might be able to join the swimming team after this move here. It's a great job of going up and over, stretching out the football.
Well, one thing he'll find out is water is softer. Maybe not by a whole lot, but it's a lot softer than that turf.
I could imagine film study next week when, for the first time, you'll have a player say, "Coach, can you run that back again for me, please?" Just a nice job. Demps is able to beat the block of Rod Frazier, but a good individual effort by Gillespie to get into the end zone.
All right, now that's 6 consecutive touchdowns on possessions. 6 consecutive possessions, which led to a touchdown. That's after Doug Johnson threw the interception early. Soccer team, Becky Burley, the head coach of the University of Florida, national champion soccer team. There you go. There's some proud mamas at home watching them.
They say
some mom just fell off her sofa.
So how do I withdraw it now? Oh, God. The beauty of college football.
That's where our money's going, man, right there.
That's where your money's going.
Oh,
I'm too strict a father for that.
Oh, here's another kick by the Gators. Big hole up the middle. Mack tripped up near the 30-yard line. Benny Alexander may have saved the touchdown for the Gators as Mack, bursting through the middle, had a lot of green in front of him.
Edward Mack hit that full speed and came very close to breaking it, as we see the scoring drive, 6 plays, 64 yards, and that great acrobatic dive by Robert Gillespie for the 2-yard touchdown.
UCF led early in this game 7-0. Florida scored 34 unanswered points. Here's Penn still throwing it late in the first half. Davis cuts to the middle of the field and is tripped up by Andre Davis. UCF has a couple of timeouts left. We'll see if they decide to use them. They are going to stop the clock here with 23 seconds to play in the first half and a 48-14 lead for the Florida Gators.
Well, David, that screen to the flanker has become a big play in college football. Just about every team runs it now, and you know, to do so, you've got to have some great athletes, guys that can do something with the football after the catch. And you know, Tavius Davis came very close to a big gain if it had not been for Andre Davis catching him around the around the ankles.
Big Penn, the UCF offensive staff over there talking things over. Penn has thrown the ball well. UCF offensively has to be pretty happy with the way they have played overall in the first half. Sunshine will be there Sunday when the Gator women's soccer team. You're looking at those young ladies right now. Becky Burley, the head coach, and the troops. They'll take the field in a Southeastern Conference matchup against Vanderbilt. Game time set for 2:30 live from Gainesville, only on Sunshine Network. Vanderbilt was the opposition in the SEC championship game last year. So Vandy has a strong soccer program. And those ladies will be honored at halftime for the national championship endeavors last year. What a great win it was against North Carolina. 1-0 to win the national title.
And that was a good look at defensive coordinator John Hope as he's trying to rally his troops.
Ball came out of there. Florida's got it at the 38-yard line.
Thad Bullock came up and put a crushing blow on Terrence Williams, shaking the ball loose. Ball was recovered by Buck Gurley. Thad Bullock has been fighting with Alex Brown for that #1 slot at the defensive end. And here's just a nice job of coming back inside, reading the play, and shaking it loose, as it looked like Williams never really had possession of it.
And Florida is going to have the football at the Golden Knights 38-yard line. Big hit by Bullard to shake it loose. Gurley was able to pounce on it. Thad Bullard, they call him the Bull, and for obvious reasons, his name for one, but also he's a tremendous rusher of the running game. He just bull rushes the defensive, or rather the offensive line. Does a great job penetrating against the run. He's not as good as Alex Brown and probably rushing the quarterback and pass coverage, but he's a guy that can get to the football. Don't miss Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier Sundays at noon on Sunshine Network. Join Coach Spurrier as he'll review each week's game, look ahead to the Gators' upcoming opponents. It's Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier Sundays at noon on Sunshine Network. And I think the question now is, do the Gators go for more with a 48-14 lead and lined up after the fumble at the 38-yard line of the Golden Knights?
Oh, without a doubt. You know, you've got things that you want to work on, and you know, it's nothing against UCF, but you know, when you're put in this situation later during the season, you need to have some experience of working at it.
And Johnson making some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Golden Knights get a good rush, and Johnson goes down for the first time tonight. Number 18, Elliott Shorter, on a strong safety blitz, came in there and sacked the quarterback, and that'll do it for the first half. So An offensive explosion at the Swamp. The Florida Gators 48 points in 30 minutes of football.
Fellas, tonight we have with us...
Been caught one ball as you look at the first half statistics, and it's dominated by the University of Florida.
And the thing that I really keep looking at, looking how the Gators suffered last year in the running game, 124 yards rushing in the first half with 3 rushing touchdowns. That's big for the Gator football team.
Jeff Chandler had an extra point blocked in the first half. That broke his perfect string for 1999. Otherwise, an excellent job by Gator special teams in the first half of the game as well. Chandler boots this one deep with the wind at his back. Jeff Fye will down it 5 yards deep in the end zone. And the Golden Knights from Orlando, the University of Central Florida, take the football at the 20-yard line. They've played with the big boys in past years. They gave Florida State a good battle a couple of years ago. Had Nebraska at the end of the first half in big trouble up in Lincoln. And I tell you, you can't blame Vic Penn. People talk about Dante Culpepper being a great quarterback. The Golden Knights wouldn't be in a whole lot different situation right here if they had Culpepper rather than Penn, in my opinion.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Vic Penn has done everything he could to help his ball club be victorious, but
well, that was not too good. He raged back to throw the ball, and the Gators knocked it free and recovered it.
Well, David, last week, the Gators came out and made the critical mistake to start the third quarter, and now you see UCF do that as number 99, Buck Gurley, comes up with the fumble recovery. But a real nice job by the defensive end. There you see Alex Brown once again coming around, swiping the ball out. Just has a knack of knowing where the quarterback has the ball, even though he's being blocked. Knocks it out. Buck Gurley comes up with his second recovery of the day.
Alex Brown, who had 2 big quarterback sacks last week, and he forced a couple of fumbles last week also. Jesse Palmer, the quarterback, to start the second half for the Gators. And he gives to Bo Carroll, running up the middle. A couple of tough yards to the 6-yard line. There's Palmer, who started the first 6 weeks of the season last year. And he alternated back and forth with Doug Johnson before he suffered the injury against LSU last week. His numbers against Western Michigan. And there's no doubt that the Gators have 2 quality quarterbacks. If anything should happen to Doug Johnson, Palmer can get the job done.
And as we look at this Gator offense, you see a lot of second-team players out there. The offensive line's got second-team guys, receivers. You got second-team players. So the score being 48-14, Steve Spurrier gets so much criticism for running the score out, but he comes up, running the score up, but he comes out the second half and he plays his second team to start the second half. I wonder what they're going to write about this time.
Well, it's going to be hard to keep the score down the way this game has gone. Because like you said, you've got to run your offense, and Palmer's pretty darn good at it. He connects for the touchdown with Brian Hagebrook. Palmer can really throw the football.
And I wonder how you keep the score down when you got a quarterback like Jesse Palmer that would be starting for most teams around the country, and you got receivers like Brian Hagebrook that also, with a lesser team, would be a starter out there at wide receiver. Nice job of running a slant route against Travis Fisher for the touchdown.
Chandler with the extra point try. And he is good. It's 55-14. Hagebrook, he is out of Wildwood, Florida. That's his first career touchdown catch. Vander. Bo Carroll carries the football for the Gators. He's brought down at the 30-yard line. Carroll and Graham and Gillespie have all been effective for the Gators running the ball in this one.
And here's a 165-pound sophomore out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. Now watch him go up in there, uses his speed. Now watch him make a decision. Now watch him stick his head down and his shoulders and deliver the blow instead of accepting the blow.
Again, the Gators going with the very young offensive line. Palmer to throw. Feeling the pressure. Nice catch by Hagebrook. He already has a touchdown here in the third quarter, and that's a nice reception of David Bush. Trying to step in and bat it away, but Hagebrook took it away from him.
Nice job by Jesse Palmer, feeling the pressure from the backside. Goes out, finds Brian Hagebrook. Nice job of catching the ball in his hand and then getting upfield as he was covered by Bush, but still was able to go up and make the reception.
Carroll running to the short side of the field. Grinds out a first down to the 25 of UCF. Damian Demps made the tackle on Bo Carroll.
As we go back and take a look at this, watch number 60. Now he's out there trying to chase little speedy Bo Carroll, and he has no chance. And just the next job, once again, by Bo Carroll, knowing he's going to get hit, protecting himself and the ball, picking up the first down.
Saw Eric Strange, big number 66, throw a nice block upfield to help Carroll grind out the first down. Leon Hires the right tackle. And there's a play you don't see every day. Palmer mixed up in the backfield with Carroll, and I am quite certain that that's not how the play was designed.
Well, I think that's the old toss counter play where he was supposed to toss it to Carroll, and then he was coming back. But in the process, somebody forgot to block Tito Rodriguez, who was coming upfield at the time. It didn't look pretty, but I think that was the actual call.
Blitz up the middle, and Palmer had too much on it. Freshman tight end Kirk Wells had a lot of green between himself and the end zone. He might have taken it all the way if the ball had been thrown on the numbers.
But this is a very difficult throw for a right-handed quarterback. As you see, Jesse Palmer feels the pressure from Rodriguez, and now he doesn't have a chance to square his shoulders to make this throw. And he just tries to lob it up. Hopefully, David Wells will be able to run under it, but to no avail. I tell you, UCF has started to come after the Gators with all kinds of blitzes versus this second team.
Palmer has Hagebrook. He's going to be about a yard or two short of a first down. Third catch in the quarter for Brian Hagebrook. Travis Fisher made the tackle. He had only 2 career receptions prior to the game tonight.
And David, the difference between this being third and short and being a first down is Brian Hagebrook doesn't catch this ball clean, so he has to adjust to try and make sure the grab on the bobble. If he catches this ball clean, he comes out the back door running and possibly picks up that first down. Good throw by Jesse Palmer, knowing he's going to get hit as he delivers the pass.
Palmer got the play call set. The center is number 53, Tommy Hillard, sophomore from Jacksonville. And the ball is tossed to Bo Carroll. Nice cut back by Carroll. Bo Carroll to the 11. Holston Patterson made the tackle, probably a touchdown-saving one for UCF.
But did you see the acceleration? Watch the acceleration to the left of your screen by Bo Carroll as he stretches it and then turns on the speed to get upfield for the first down. If Joseph doesn't make this tackle, excuse me, it wasn't Joseph. Joseph had a shot at him and he missed it.
It was going to be 6, though, wasn't it? Almost picked off that time. As I think Wells was the intended receiver, but he was not open that time. It'll bring up a second down for the Gators at the Golden Knight 11-yard line.
But that's a first, Dave. As we look at the inside the 20 tonight, the Gators have been extremely successful and efficient down inside the 20. The only time that they weren't successful was the first drive of the ball game. That they actually went to the tight end twice in one drive. So we don't normally see that.
Nick Sorelli has checked in. He's flanked out wide to the left. The give is to Bo. And Carroll moves inside the 10 to the UCF 8-yard line. Devine made the tackle. He's one of the veterans on this UCF defensive football team out of Lakeland.
Well, the Aubrey is isolated one-on-one with the speedy small receiver, and he just reaches out and holds on for dear life. Rides it down like a bulldog.
It's been a long night for the UCF defense. Florida's knocking again at the Golden Knights 8-yard line. Capel was the intended receiver. And the pass thrown out of his reach, so that is going to bring on the special team. Well, that was a 4th down play, wasn't it?
That's what, no, that was, yeah, it was 4th down. It was just a bad
Florida
pass.
Defense. Capel not able to bring it in. Field goal team is on the field. It was 3rd down. Chandler will step on to try and kick one through from the 15. It'll be a 25-yard attempt.
And did you see Steve Spurrier in that last shot coaching Jesse Palmer that he's got to hit the receiver in the breadbasket?
We had movement on the left side of Florida's offensive line. It'll be 5 yards assessed. Not really going to affect the field goal. Chandler is well within his range. And in fact, the penalty is going to go against UCF.
Before the snap, offsides on the defense. Still 4th down.
Not real sure Florida wants this one, but they'll take it. The ball is on the left hash mark, which makes for a rather difficult angle from this short of a distance, but it's going to be a 21-yard field goal attempt now for Chandler.
But it's not a bad angle for a right-footed kicker kicking from the left hash mark, David. Young
puts it down. And Chandler puts it through. That's 56, 57, and 58. For those of you keeping score at home.
Point for the Florida Gators, up 58-14. And games are fun, but sometimes something happens in real life that helps us put everything in perspective. And it happened to a group of Florida Gator fans about 6 months ago who decided they wanted to do something for Greg C., a Florida football player who is battling brain cancer. Well, Greg C. won't get to play ball again and is fighting that battle as hard as he can. But as he fights that battle, money was raised to endow a scholarship in his honor, in his memory. And those group of people from all over the United States, not all from Gainesville, got that together and raised the money to endow a scholarship, the Greg C. Courage Scholarship, which will be awarded to Florida athletes in the future, and a lasting memory for a young man whose courage has taught so many of us so much. David?
Thank you, Larry.
On the return, holding on the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st down.
Penalty against UCF. It's nice to hear good stories, positive stories about college athletics. You hear so many negative things through the media.
And so many times you always get the negative about the athlete that goes wrong or things happen bad and how people forget athletes and etc. And here's a real nice story about folks raising money for a good cause.
UCF is backed up to its 13 after the penalty. Oh, that is big trouble for the Golden Knights. It's amazing that Penn was able to hold on to the football. Quendo Johnson was there and almost stripped it free. He's a talented redshirt freshman out of Rockledge, Florida.
And David, this is just a bull rush where he just drives the tackle back into the quarterback. David Wilson. He just drives him back into Penn and makes the tackle. This is an excellent job of using his strength against the left tackle to get penetration.
Well, you look at Johnson also. He's going to put some weight on that frame. Henshaw can't pull that pass in. But you look at Marcus Oquendo Johnson. And he's 6'4", about 215 pounds. He's only a freshman. Good-looking athlete. He's going to get heavier in the weight program for the Gators. Talented athlete.
There's a good look at Tyson Henshaw, and right now I don't think his head's in the game, David. He's had just too many drops, and it almost looked like he's so worried about getting hit that he forgets to catch the football.
Penn throwing again. This one deflected at the line of scrimmage and incomplete. Teddy Sims. But the Gator defense is held again.
And this is just good pressure up the middle. Once you see you can't get there, you jump, get your hands up. Nice job by the interior part of that offensive line.
I think it was Thad Bullard who got a piece of the pass at the line of scrimmage. The big hand up in the air.
Well, see, David, you got more courage than I do because I wasn't sure, and I didn't want one of these young guys to be upset with me for giving Thad their credit.
Well, I'm going with my spotter, my man Heath Klein over here. He says it was Thad Bullard, and I'm sure it was. Capel, there's a scary play for the Gators. The ball is down at the 45-yard line after a 44-yard punt by Borlegi. We'll be back. Packers, fresh because we just made it. And by Napa Auto Parts, best service, best price. Fourth quarter from the swamp in Gainesville. Jesse Palmer quarterbacking the fun and gun. John Capel had a wall of blockers in front of him. Now he's streaking along the sideline, and Capel is bounced out of bounds at the 9.
There we saw the difference in a guy by the name of John Capel with speed. Joseph was able to knock him out, but a nice job of tucking in behind his blocker like he's going back inside. But he's no dummy. He's getting back outside behind Schiraldi and then turns up the speed for a big gain.
Joseph had the angle on him, drove him out of bounds with a shoulder pass. And they say Capel stepped out of bounds at the 11-yard line. So that's where the Gators have it, first and 10. Marks is the running back alongside Palmer. Almost intercepted by 5. He'd like to have another crack at that one. Capel was the intended receiver.
Yeah, that won't get any easier for 5. Seemed to be some communication problems there between the quarterback and the receiver as Palmer threw it up for grabs, and it was only where the defender had a play on the ball.
In motion to the left side. Palmer, he fumbled it, and let's see. There's a scramble. I think Florida may have gotten it back. It looked like UCF had the better opportunity. McKibben was there, and the Gators wrestled it away.
Well, McKibben didn't get on top of the ball, and Eric Strange was able to come up with the grab, with the loose ball after he saw it on the ground. Ball's shaken loose by number 56, Rashad Smith. But a nice job of fighting for the football by Eric Strange to maintain possession.
All right, we've got timeout on the field early in the fourth quarter. The Gators rolling.
What if I want to discover a place no one's ever been?
What if I want to leave everything behind and teach?
What if I want to learn a whole new language?
Whatever path you go down in life, you can take comfort in knowing there's a healthcare organization that'll always be one step ahead of you. What if I want to just be? What if you didn't have to worry about healthcare?
I love Florida.
So I take care of it.
By recycling. All the time.
Not just at home.
But wherever I am.
We recycle at school. Everywhere I go, I find a way.
I recycle.
Everybody should.
We've got a lot to love and a lot to lose.
Step up. Be an environmental citizen.
Oh, the world is my oyster. In Nepal, I uncovered an ancient temple. Dinner in the Big Apple was magnifique. Or was I watching the Travel Channel?
For heart-stopping adventure, romantic getaways, and insider travel tips, there's only one place to go. Everywhere we do. The Travel Channel. Now from the Discovery Channel.
Break away with the Travel Channel.
keep bankers hours either.
SunshineNetwork.com is the source for auto racing. From lap to lap, from the track and into the pits. Log on to SunshineNetwork.com for all of the latest information on the checkered flag.
Florida Gators in control of the game early in the fourth quarter. Ben Brown helped off the field, has left the field on crutches. He got leg whip right above the ankle. They're going to take x-rays and see what the damage is.
A guy that the Gators can count on for solid play on the offensive line. Palmer fumbled it as he pump faked, and the ball came loose, knocked out of there by UCF, and the Knights have recovered the football. That's McKibben. And Rashawn Smith, he recovered it. McKibben forced the fumble.
And this is coming right up the middle. It was very tough for the center to snap the ball and try and block the guy in the gap. And what UCF has started to do is put guys in all the gaps, which is making it tough to get the block on the guard center gap.
UCF defense still going at it hard here in the fourth quarter, despite the large deficit, and Big Penn still firing away. Charles Lee makes the catch, and he'll lose about 3 yards back to the 23. Well covered by Florida. Reggie Davis was there, coming up from the strong safety position.
Well, they've ran this play. It's a little play action as you fake to Williams, but a good job. Reggie Davis coming up, making the sure tackle on Charles Lee.
Henshaw, Lee, and Clark split out wide to the right. Penn going on 2nd and 11. Henshaw has it, and Todd Johnson has him near midfield. Another true freshman playing a lot of football tonight for the Gators. Todd Johnson, the freshman from Sarasota.
Todd Johnson gets there, but he gets there a tad late as they drag Henshaw, Tyson Henshaw, all the way across the field. And this is all set up because of good pass protection, allowing Penn time to throw the football.
Pretty good lick put on by Todd Johnson. Terrence Williams broke a tackle or two. And the Knights cross the 50-yard line. Williams is down at the 46 of the Florida Gators. Teddy Sims made the tackle. 39. A lot of youngsters on the field for the Gators defensively. Arpez Roll is 65. Number 59 is Mike Natile. That's a familiar name to Florida football fans, obviously.
Nephew of Ricky Natile. Long-time great receiver here with the Gators, and then played several years with the Denver Broncos.
Natile is another true freshman. Penn airing it out. Johnson had Henshaw well covered. You got to like Todd Johnson. He does not mind sticking his nose right in there. He's a physical football player. Idolizes John Lynch, hard-hitting Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Well, that's a good idol to have. Is he does a real good job of just running through the receiver, warding him off as he makes a play on the football, and that's why they would not call interference, because he actually has a right to the football, same as the receiver.
Third down for the Golden Knights. They shovel it forward, and no place to run. Jamie Campbell had that play snuffed out from the beginning.
Well, they actually ran that play right into Jamie Campbell as he was reading the action going down the line of scrimmage. He's being blocked by the tackle, and he just stays at home, makes the short tackle.
Took off Taylor Robertson and made the tackle.
Yeah, just a nice job of playing your position, not worrying about everything else that's going on around you. Take care of your own responsibility first. Jamie Campbell did a good job of doing that. Came up with the play.
Campbell is a junior from Alachua. Bo Carroll is the man deep to return, and he fair catches the ball at the 5-yard line. So the Gators take the football on top of the Knights in Gainesville.
Uh-oh, we got trouble. Please, not me. That's got to hurt.
Gracie!
We gotta do something. Charge!
does the monkey know?
Since 1925, you've counted on Napa Auto Parts to give you the best parts and the best service in the parts business. Today, Napa has over 6,000 stores with over 200,000 parts. Now Napa is proud to announce everyday low prices on part numbers across the board. Domestic or import, Napa has prices to fit any budget and parts to fit any car. Napa Auto Parts. Best parts, best service, and now the best price.
I'm so happy. I'm floating on cloud nine. I'm so happy. I'm feeling swell. Life is so sublime.
Imagine feeling this good about your car insurance bill.
So gosh darn incredibly happy.
That's happy, baby. Geico Direct. A 15-minute call could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We're back in the swamp with the Gators on top of the University of Central Florida Golden Knights. Florida showing everybody why they are ranked number 4 in the nation. Offensively, Florida did everything it wanted to do in the first half of the game, rolling up 48 points. And Steve Spurrier has had it on cruise control here in the second half, adding 10 more. UCF has added a touchdown in the second half of the game. But it's all Gators in the first ever meeting between these two in-state rivals. Florida football at the 5-yard line. The handoff was to Chuck Marks. Marks probably did not get back to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe spot him at about the 5.
And David, this here actually shows you just how good that first-team offensive line is. Here you see the second and third team offensive line getting manhandled by this UCF defensive line, where when the first teamers were in there, the big guys took control of this ball game.
Justin Moore dominating the line of scrimmage on that play for UCF. 3-year starter, still in the ball game here in the fourth quarter. Now penalty flag is thrown, and we had motion, I think, on the Gators. They'll be penalized half the distance to the goal.
Dead ball, illegal substitution on the offense, half the distance penalty, second down.
And the reason that was called, David, was the Gators had 12 men in the huddle, and then after they broke the huddle, Chuck Marks ran off the field, which is illegal.
New rule this year. And the Gators line it up now at the 2.5-yard line. Second and 13. Rashay Caldwell. UCF still hitting hard down there.
And you could hear the pads all the way up here in the booth.
Damian Demps made the tackle for the Golden Knights. Caldwell's helmet. He's got turf stuck in his top of his helmet.
This is where when you get to the sideline, they ask you if you know where you're at. Sandwich between two defenders, Josh McKibben and number 10, Demps.
Caldwell a little bit rattled, and he's on the sideline now as it is now 3rd and 11. Palmer rifles it out into the flat. Near enough for the first down. And that'll bring up a 4th down play. The Gators will have to punt the football away. Brian Hagebrook on the reception. And David Wazalewski will come out and punt this one. Or is it Ryan again?
Another good defensive stand by the Golden Knights. You know, they're down 58-21, but you don't see any quit in this football team, and that's a sign of the coaching staff and how hard they work to make these kids understand they're going to lose some ball games, but each week they want to get better and better.
Well, it is Ryan punting it, and he really gets off a good one this time. Punting it from the 10-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage. A 51-yard punt for Alan Ryan. Well done.
Get inside the Gators game plan. Watch Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier. Be a part of the team. Get with the defense and high five with the offense. Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier today at noon on Sunshine.
Want to become an expert on the Florida Gators? Want to get inside the program? The easiest way is to subscribe to Gator Bait magazine. Now in its 20th year, Gator Bait is your #1 source for Gator sports. Game stories, player features, recruiting, analysis. It's all covered in every issue of Gator Bait by an award-winning staff. Subscribe today and receive 32 full-color issues plus the preseason football and basketball yearbooks. Call 1-800-782-3216 or log on at www.gatorbait.net. Don't wait. Get Gator Bait.
We're back in the swamp, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. A lot of folks have headed to the exits already. It's been all Florida. Fourth-ranked Gators rolling up a big score tonight on the University of Central Florida Knights, but UCF striking back in the fourth quarter. A long pass from Penn completed to Charles Lee. Lee got in behind Lito Shepherd.
Well, he got in behind Lito Shepherd, but Reggie Davis does not play the ball well. This should have been an interception. He's in great position. He reads the quarterback eyes. Now he goes up. Ball goes right over his head. That's because he didn't stay deep. It should have been an easy pick for Reggie Lewis. Nice throw by Big Penn. Sounded like something I've been saying all evening.
He's had a lot of good throws tonight. Number of drop passes. And Penn has held up his end of the deal tonight. Handoff is to Omari Howard. Howard had no place to run up the middle. Stopped at the 14-yard line. Front wall of the Gators doing a good job. Arpej Roll, a freshman from Miami, made the tackle along with Tron Lefebvre. Now second down for the Golden Knights of UCF. 8:10 to play in the football game. Penn swings it to Henshaw. He broke one tackle. Hardman not able to make the play, and Henshaw is able to get down to about the 10-yard line. Reggie Davis made the tackle. And it'll be third down for the Golden Knights. Mike Kruzik will play Georgia Tech next week. Georgia the following week. Mike Kruzik, tough job this year in his second year as head coach of the Golden Knights. No Culpepper. They lost a lot of other key players from last year's 9-2 team.
But in all fairness, he inherited some great players in his first year last year when he was able to go 9-2.
Marcus Okendo Johnson, a name we've called several times in the second half tonight, number 50. Bringing down the ball carrier. You're going to hear a lot of his name through the years. Freshman played quite a bit last week. He was in on 24 snaps last week against Western Michigan. So these young players are getting some opportunity here in the first 2 weeks of the season. Don't expect to see much of them next week here at the Swamp, though.
And David, Marcus has the ability to play both linebacker and defensive end because of the long, rangy body.
Fourth down. The pass is incomplete. Florida's defense, the youngsters on the field, have stopped the Golden Knights' offensive drive.
Byron Hodmer out on the coverage. Nice job of not giving Penn anywhere to throw the football.
That's a nice job by young defensive team on the field. John Hoke has to be pleased about the play after the long pass play connected to Charles Lee and gave UCF a great scoring opportunity. And here's the third quarterback to see action tonight, Kevin McKinnon, the sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. And he gives off to the tailback, Chuck Marks. Running it between the tackles across the 10 to the 12. Clock ticking down, 6.5 minutes to play in the game. As you get a good look at number 18. McKinnon had good size, 6'2", almost 200-pounder. Moved his way up to number 3 on the depth chart.
And really had a great spring game. And if you didn't have two fearless leaders in front of you that have proven themselves within the wars, might have had a shot of moving all the way up to number 2.
Justin Moore met Chuck Marks before Marks could even get to the gap. That's a fifth-year senior out of Ocala. High school teammate of Dante Culpepper was Moore. And just made a nice tackle on Marks in the backfield. Culpepper played 4 years, moved on. Moore redshirted a year. This is his final year for the Golden Knights. Blitz up the middle. McKinnon unloads it. Nice heads-up play by McKinnon. And the pass is caught for a first down by the Florida Gators.
And I'll tell you what I really like about McKinnon on this particular play, David, is he sees the pressure. He knows he can't get everybody blocked, but he does not panic as he's able to get the ball to the freshman, Aaron Walker. But watch this guy keep his cool in the pocket. Sees he's got pressure, moves to his right, unloads the ball to the tight end. First down, Gators.
First catch for the Gators for Aaron Walker, a redshirt freshman. Florida pitches it, and Marks runs the ball out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Devine made the tackle. Billy Young getting a chance to run a play at quarterback for the Gators. Young man, it hand signals the plays in from Steve Spurrier onto the field. Big smile on his face. And what a great opportunity. And well-deserved for Billy Young to get a chance to take a snap at quarterback for the Gators.
You're talking about a team player all the way. This year he's been given a scholarship. He's been a walk-on for the past 4 years and finally rewarded for all his hard work.
McKinnon back in there, throwing under pressure again. UCF is getting a lot of pressure on Florida quarterback Brett Harley, putting the heat on McKinnon. Still got that front line, first team front line on the field to the Golden Knights.
And David, it shows you the respect that they have for that first group of receivers, because now all of a sudden you've got 8 and 9 men front. You're coming with all kinds of blitzes. But when you had Travis Taylor, Darrell Jackson, and all those guys in the ball game, along with Doug Johnson, you didn't see these blitzes coming from everywhere.
Billy Young back at quarterback. There's no protection up front. The ball handed off, tackle made quickly. And it'll bring up a fourth down for the Gator offense. Chuck Marks says, why me?
This is just like a jailbreak, as you've got a bunch of young guys in there, getting their feet wet. And Chuck Marks starts to feel like he's the sacrificial lamb, as there's no blocking up front.
Ryan got off a 51-yarder a moment ago. Under pressure, unloads another beautiful high driving spiral. 5 from the 29-yard line. Down he goes at the 36, a 48-yard punt by Allen Ryan. It looks pretty good out there, punting the football for the Gators. Andre Davis playing the special teams, made the tackle for the Gators.
And that's your #1 linebacker going down on special teams, making the tackle in the fourth quarter with the game out of reach.
We'll stay with Sunshine Sunday mornings at 11 for Fox's NFL This Morning, followed by Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier at noon. Chris Myers, Marv Levy, Jackie Slater take you around the NFL. And then immediately following, Coach Steve Spurrier reviews the week's games. And Sunday on Sunshine Network. Lee again on the receiving end of a pin pass. And he is taken out of bounds, stopping the clock with 3:27 to play in the football game. Busy night for Lee. He's got, 11 catches now? Had a big game, statistically. Kenny Clark has also played well for UCF.
But a lot of that is attributed to great blocking up front by the offensive line, giving the quarterback time to throw the football, and the Gators playing a very soft coverage, allowing him to catch the ball in front, coming up, making the tackle.
Kenny Clark, and the whistle blows, and his knee was on the ground, I suppose, when he caught the football at the 49. Now the numbers are going to once again look like last week, where Western Michigan threw for over 400 yards and UCF has 310 yards passing. Florida's defense has not played badly tonight.
They've not played badly, and all of this short stuff that the Knights are hitting in front of them is because the corners are backing off, because they know that one of the plays that they like to run is the bow out with the slot receiver behind the quarterback coming up. So they're staying back, making sure that they can't throw the deep ball, force them to throw it up early, as we see Marcus Okendo Johnson going up, swatting the ball away as they try to throw another quick screen.
And you made the comparison earlier to Javon Kearse. Well, look at this. How many times did you see Kearse reach up? The freak swat one away.
But watch what he does after he swats it away. As an athlete, you know, he's going for the football. Regains his balance. You know, this is a very talented young man.
Ben overthrows Henshaw. And it'll be third down for the Golden Knights. Mike Kruzik, team losing to Purdue last week with Georgia Tech and Georgia still up ahead.
Well, David, as much trouble as the Gators are having with this trip offense, where they're running cherry picks and etc., I wouldn't be surprised to see if Tennessee adds some of that to their offense for next week, just to see if the Gators have made the correction, because they're getting guys wide open off this cherry pick. And there it is again.
Henshaw, the catch, knocked out of bounds, and UCF picks up the first down at the 39-yard line. Harold Dixon.
And for our viewers, excuse me, and for our viewers at home, because I know they're saying, what the heck is he talking about, a cherry pick? But when you've got three receivers on the strong side, you've got two guys breaking in, the inside guy that's breaking out, which is basically picking for him, and he can either stay there in the flat and catch the football, as we see Henshaw does here, or he can turn upfield, and they're able to throw the ball to him deep.
Penn swings it out to Henshaw. And Henshaw again drives out of bounds at the 32-yard line. UCF still first teamers in there trying to make this score more decent than 58-21, which is what it is at the moment. Florida led 48-14 at the half.
Yeah, he had a severe headache.
Second down for UCF. Penn finds running room. Continues to pump fake down the sideline, and he steps out of bounds. Well, next week, the Tennessee Volunteers come to the Swamp. And a team that is able to run the football in this series, Van Moore, they win.
And that's the real keys. You got to have a guy that can pound the football, that can keep the defense honest. And here you see a nice run by the fullback last year, as they was able to give it to Bryson. He pops it right over the center, and the team that has won the game normally is the team that ran the football well.
Fred Taylor 2 years ago, dominant, running the football, and Sean Bryson had the long run for touchdown last year. Rashae Caldwell headed to the locker room, shaken up as the ball is handed off to Omari Howard. And Howard is down at the 12-yard line. Well, last year the Gators could not run the football against Tennessee up in Knoxville, and I think that's going to be a key element, no question about it, next week. And Graham is going to be a guy that will have to step up.
Well, I think that should be one heck of a matchup, Jamal Lewis and Ernest Graham, to see which guy runs the football the best.
Second down, and Henshaw is open for the touchdown. The Golden Knights put 6 more on the board with 1:46 to play in the game.
And once again, Big Penn throws this football under pressure. He's being hit. He actually throws it early, just hangs it up in the corner. He knows where his receiver's scheduled to be. Big number 65. Arpage Roll is the guy that's making the hit, but just a nice anticipation by Big Penn of throwing the ball early.
Extra point is no good. Henshaw with 2 touchdown receptions tonight, but the Gators still lead it by 31.
Well, here's the real key to the Tennessee Volunteers. And it's T. Martin who throws the ball exceptionally well, makes great decisions, but has the ability with the quick feet to improvise and make things happen on his own. And, you know, he's going to be the guy that really got to corral next week if the Gators are going to be successful.
T. Martin, much more confident player, I'm sure, than he was at this time last year after leading the Florida Gators, the Tennessee Volunteers, to a national championship last season. There's the rest of the schedule, and everything focuses on that Tennessee matchup on September the 18th. It'll make or break the season, I'm sure.
Well, for the past 6 or 7 years, the winner of that ball game have went on to either win the conference, the Eastern Division, or the SEC championship, and have a shot at the national championship. So it is probably the most important game on the schedule at this particular point.
Well, you can get back in it, but you got to get a lot of help from other folks around the Southeastern Conference if you don't win that one early.
Well, the top 2 teams year in and year out in the SEC has been Tennessee and Florida. So the winner of that football game really has a big step up.
There is a flag down as Capel is down at the 37-yard line.
Capel on the return.
And the East has dominated. Southeastern Conference East Division has dominated the conference for the last 6 or 7 years.
Illegal block in the back on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, David, if the Gators are going to be victorious next week, one of the things that they've really got to get corrected is their return team, both on kickoffs and punt returns. You know, when you've got guys back there where you're scared to have them back there as far as the punt return, you know, the Gators have been blessed through the years with guys like Jaquez Green, Ike Hilliard, Riddell Anthony. And all of a sudden now you're in a position where your return guys, they've got ability, they've got talent, but so far they have made mistake after mistake.
McKinnon, the quarterback, throws it up for grabs, and it is picked off. Damian Demps, his 5th career interception. He got one last week against Purdue. There's a flag on the field, but I think it's after the interception.
It is a dead ball foul. This is just a speed route that McKinnon really doesn't get much on the football, and Demps is just in great position from his strong safety spot to make the play. You know, they're back in almost a 2-deep zone.
There was an interception after the play, personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty, first and 10.
Well, the personal foul will back the Golden Knights up to the 45-yard line. A little bit too much celebrating, I think, by Demps after the interception.
When the score is 58-27, there's really not a whole lot to celebrate. You're just fortunate that they don't score some more touchdowns. And, you know, when you start to get all cocky, all you need to look at is they pulled the dogs at the start of the second half.
Penn scrambling around, and he'll take the ball out of bounds at the 46. It was 48-14 at the half. Doug Johnson played just 30 minutes of football tonight. Derek Corker is the man who ran him out of bounds there.
And I tell you, David, you know, here's what's really alarming to me is, you know, you've got 1 minute and 26 seconds left in the ball game. The game is totally out of reach, and you got Vic Penn still in the ball game. You know, what about your backup quarterbacks? If something happens to Penn, what do you do the rest of the year if you don't start getting some of these other guys experience?
And the Golden Knights have gone pretty much with their first unit on both sides of the ball tonight. Kenny Clark still in there, pulling in Vic Penn. Vic Penn passes, and he's out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Craig Dudley makes the tackle.
So you are a big supporter, a fan of Sean Penn, we gather.
Yeah. You got me bet.
Here's another good throw by Vic Penn as he goes out to Kenny Clark. Dudley comes up, Craig Dudley to make the tackle.
He's pretty good actor, but he can't throw the ball like Vic Penn. And he's open. It's Clark again. And Clark draws a crowd of orange and blue shirts Down he goes at the 19-yard line.
Well, they're able to complete these passes as Vic Penn is showing a strong arm as he throws the deep out route to the far side of the field. But Vic Penn is taking a beating as he releases the football. That time, Jamie Campbell put a pretty good pop on him just as he released the football.
And Jimmy Collins with a headset on, looking a little bit exasperated right now on his group's play there on the defensive side of the football. Linebacker coach for the Florida Gators.
Also, the lead recruiting coordinator is Jimmy Collins, and he does a great job, Jim Collins, of getting top quality recruits in here.
Well, today's sub of the game is brought to you by Subway. Subway, the way a sandwich should be. Brian Hagebrook, our Subway sub of the game. His first career touchdown reception. Had 5 catches in that third quarter. And finishes with 6 receptions, Hagebrook, and 55 yards, along with the touchdown.
Well, that was like a double sub with Jesse Palmer being in there, so you had 2 subs.
Could have gone either way.
Either way. Nice throw and catch by both guys.
That's better than the classic BMT right there. Only 1:09 left in the contest. UCF trying to get some, oh, by the way, points at the end, and the ball is batted away and out of play by Hardman. That'll bring up second down. It stops the clock with 1:04 to play.
This is just a good play by Byron Hartman. As Penn approaches the line of scrimmage, he comes up, sees he can't get there as he tries to lob it over his head to Henshaw. Bats it down.
A great hit. Marquand Manuel really putting it to Henshaw at the 20-yard line.
And this is a play that they've had great success with. He tries to hit Henshaw over on the sideline, but watch Marquand Manuel come into your screen and does a nice job on the tackle.
Well, the Golden Knights gave up running the football a long time ago, and Henshaw has now thrown 53 passes in the game. Completed 33 out of 53. Golden Knights up close to 400 yards in passing offense. But I'm with you, man. I don't really understand what the purpose is at this point. With your team down by 31 points.
Well, if I was cynical, I would say that maybe he's worried about the point spread, but at this particular point in time, you don't want to take a chance on getting your athletes hurt because, you know, it's early in the year. You know, you got your first team players in there taking a lot of punishment, and you're talking about Vic Penn getting hit every time he releases the football.
The screen is set up to the tight end. Oh, great hit by Lito Shepherd. Clark bounces right up. Or Mario Jackson, rather. Good open field tackle, though, by the freshman from Jacksonville.
And a better job of avoiding the blocker because he's got a blocker out front. This screen is set up perfectly, and you'll see Lito Shepherd come into your screen at the lower left and just makes a bruising hit down around the ankles of Mario Jackson for the tackle.
33 seconds left in the game. We'll be back to the Swamp in a moment.
The Preps Power Hour, a Thursday source for high school sports. Kickoff at 5:30 with the Florida High School Gridiron Report. Sean Alvashire hosts the weekly football show, highlighting the top 6A and 5A schools and updating all divisions. Then at 6 o'clock, it's Florida High School Extra. Hosted by James Bates, this program features the best in Florida high school athletics, along with a focus on academic excellence. The Preps Power Hour, Thursdays beginning at 5:30 on Sunshine. Get inside the Gators game plan. Watch Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier. Be a part of the team. Hit with the defense and high five with the offense. Florida football highlights with Steve Spurrier today at noon on Sunshine.
Back to live action. The pass is juggled, and it is incomplete, intended for Charles Lee. I think that was Dixon over there covering. Nicely done. Oh, it was Westbrook.
Marquise Westbrook gets a hand on it. And Lee catches it out of bounds.
So Florida takes the ball over on downs with 29 seconds to play in the ball game.
And this should be the last play of the ball game, being that Florida will probably keep it on the ground.
Billy Young is the quarterback. And he does give it off to Chuck Marks. And Marks goes down at the 14-yard line, and that should do it, as the Gators can let the clock tick down to 0. Well, it's more points than Florida scored all of last year in a game. Mike Kruzik, the coach of the UCF Knights, has a couple of more tough weeks still to come before things slow down a little bit. Georgia Tech and Georgia. And the Gators now 2-0 with big wins against both Western Michigan and the University of Central Florida Golden Knights. 58-27 is the final score. And let's throw it down on the sideline to Larry Vitale. Larry?
Okay, thanks a lot, David. Coach Steve Spurrier, 48 in the first half. The Gator offense looked real sharp there.
Yeah, these games get real ugly. Our backup guys are not very good. Central Florida kicked our butts second half. Hopefully these guys don't have to play in the real games.
How did you feel about the first half?
Well, we made a lot of points. Guys threw it around, ran. But second half was not very good for our offense. We were pitiful.
Ready to pick it up for Tennessee?
Hopefully, yeah.
Let's go back to David Seal.
Well, you don't have to wonder what he really feels about it. The Gators with the victory, 58-27 in the Swamp. We'll be back.